hell could I be? All this time I've been lost, vessel trapped in the sea. Chains holding my legs, I just wanna be free. This picking my phone, hell yeah, they know it. Tears keep going. You see it in my phenotypes, and that damn is showing. This knowledge keeping me steady. 45 on my hip, and my armor man stay ready. I hit streets in my Chevy. Blood burning, smoke smoking. The man he what's in it? In the land I lost many. Every nigga feeling, and every man ain't living. No deep bows, but step. Rose for my family. What a pigs killing us daily. This is for the invader. Sitting on the invader. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Give them all praises. Give them all praises. Invader. This is for the invader. Sitting on the invader. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Give them all praises. Give them all praises. Where the fuck are you from? Kidnapping our babies. Left in the bush. Whole country is scorched. Gave stealing my portion. Bitch, give me my land back. Inside no trash. Why you wasting all of our trust funds? We know who your dad is, but we know who your kin is. Take the food off of my plate. Eat that shit with my phone. Invader, this is for the invader. Invader, sitting on the invader. All praises to the Most High. Invader, this is for the invader. Sitting on the invader. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Give them all praises. Give them all praises. Hey, 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 all praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Give them all praises. Give them praises. Invader, this is for the invader. Invader, sitting on the invader. Invader, this is for the invader. Invader, sitting on the invader.
Peace. Let me see, make sure I'm being heard properly. Mic check. Okay, all right, there you go. All right, man. Trying to get done with this, man. Finish up on this video that I started the other night. I was supposed to do it last night, but going on for the moment. Yeah, just want to finish this up, man. So let's get done with this. All right, so when I started off, the title is Black Indians in Plain Sight, Prisoners of War. I don't know, for the most part, I just want to just say a few things before I start this off. For the most part, like me as an individual, you got a lot of personalities into this fucking so-called Aborigine movement. And I just want y'all to know at the end of the day that Conscious One is solo. I'm not connected to none of these fucking weirdos out here who be making these videos talking about this tribalism shit and all this other goofy shit. My sole purpose is pretty much somebody dropped something off on my lap telling me that it was Black Indians or Black people here prior to Africans being here, and from that time on, I've been on a witch hunt to prove that this is true. And that's pretty much what I'm here for. I'm not here to tell you about my fucking family, to tell you my ancestry. I'm here for none of that shit. I'm only here to try to tell people, let us know that we was here. And if my research proved that it was the number of so-called Africans to the number of Indians that was enslaved here in this land exceeded the number of Africans, then that's something that need to be heard. And I don't know why when people get opportunity, they don't not mention this shit. That's the most important part. You cannot, um, like if we talking about this shit, somebody giving you talking to you about, that's the first level of understanding that one can have. Fact that they, and now the throw on top of that, because now you got the ADOS movement going on, and you got people out here thinking they descendants of slaves. But as I proved, time and time again, it was more Indian slaves or more Indian people who we classify as slaves than so-called Africans. So what slaves were you? And then these, and it's just like, listen, at some point in time, you cannot continue to be a smart or educated individual if you keep disregarding the key information. And I ain't trying to say, like, with this ADOS movement, and I'm watching people, I've been telling people about these motherfucking black immigrants. Now, I'm not saying, I got people from Jamaica, from Haiti, from all types of Caribbean, and I'm cool with 100. But just like we got black coons, we got black Caribbean. If I'm gonna call my own people a coon, I'm damn sure gonna call out the next person. So you have coons of all magnitudes. It ain't just DOS's coon. You got coons of people from Nigeria, these numerous different countries in Africa. It goes on and on and on. I've been calling this shit out. You go and check all my videos out. I've been talking about this. I've been keeping my focus on the people of the Americas. Now I include North, South, and Central, but basically when it comes down to it, everyone is not going to be included because everyone was colonized by totally different people. Now, the Jamaicans was colonized by the same people we was colonized with, as well as other people in some of them islands. You got the Haitians, they was colonized by the French. You got the people in DR, they was colonized by the Spanish. So when this shit all hit the fan, everyone is not going to be, they're not going to be basically talking to the same individuals. You know what I'm saying? We have to focus on the English that was here. And I've been telling people this shit. I've been watching because, like, the whole Pan African movement that fuck niggas up because that don't give you an opportunity to focus on your own family because you think everybody else is your family. And as we see in all these other countries, these other black groups of people they do not kumbaya with that Pan African shit. If you in a place where everybody black at, you think that they sitting in there like there's no racism. So it's a totally different story as opposed to what you see here in North America. You understand what I'm saying? But I don't digress. That's a whole totally different thing, though. But check this out. Like I said, I prove to you time and time again that the number of Indian slaves outnumbered the so-called, if these people were Africans, if they wasn't the Indians that were shipped to the West Indies in the beginning of the centuries and brought back, or even descendants of these people who were shipped to the West Indies and then brought back, that pretty much blocks the fact that you ain't supposed to know that wasn't no Negroes here. So that's my quest. That my quest is just to pretty much show you the evidence. And like I said, man, it like you have to be on the back of the slow bus to not understand. You have to be, because if you at this point in time, if we showing you images of all these different colonies where they had these so-called Africans, that you got Indian slaves, all of them, and all of them. So um give me a second, AP. I'm gonna send you a link in a minute. Let me just get through this because it's a lot of shit to read. So, all right. So this is the Pottawatomie tribe. All right, this is where we ended off um, the last time or whatever. All right, so bear with me. I got a lot of shit going on. My daughter here, um, you know, and fucking cat jumping off the wall. So it's a lot of stuff going on. So just bear with me. We're gonna get through this. I have a lot of stuff pulled up. So I need to get through this as fast as possible. Okay, so just bear with me, people, because I have a lot of shit pulled up, and I do not want to get distracted from the order or the way I'm gonna do this video. All right, so just bear with me, y'all. All right, so the Pottawatomie tribe, a great tribe in the Great Lake region. It's a tried to remain neutral in the Revolutionary War, but eventually sided with the Americans in 1770. The Pottawatomie tribe had long-standing trading partners with military allies with the French and fought alongside with them in the French and Indian War. They were reluctant to get involved in another war. In 1778, a Virginia militia officer, George Roger Clark, brought a small army to Illinois and conquered the Midwest. Clark met Shigenock, a Pottawatomie chief from Milwaukee, and convinced him to join the American side in the Revolutionary War, according to the articles on Milwaukee Museum website. All right, so let's keep it moving. Along with another Milwaukee Pottawatomie, Naka. I can't pronounce that. Sorry, y'all. So this is Sinjinok effected a diplomatic coup over the course of the next 2 years and managed to turn the Pottawatomie village around to the southern shore of Lake Michigan against the British. They say when the British tried to recruit the local Indians for their cause, they made little headway. Now remember, check this out, right? Notice this is around the late 1700s because this is when they kicked the French out. They said they around Lake Michigan. All of that shit is around the back way. When you go through like Canada and all that. So this is why the French, you see the French, Michigan, Detroit, and all that, right? The funny thing is, I was just doing some research. Let me see if this is still up, y'all. Give me a second. Let me see if this is still up. And something else I was looking at. Give me a second, y'all. Wasn't this? It's a book, right? Alright. French Empire is just no, it's not that one. Alright, let me go back. Hold up. Give me a second, y'all. Let me locate this information that I was looking for. Alright, you know what? Let me see something. I'm looking for a particular this book that I was just looking at. But you know what? Real quick, on another note, while we here anyway, look, this a Plaxido, chief of the Takawanas. That's a straight Negro. Look at this shit right here, man. This is straight Negro, man. And then you know what? That ain't even the image that I was looking for. It's another book about the French. I actually pulled it up a couple of times, but I found another page to it. Let me see. Original page got straight up Negroes on it, yo. Let me see something. Hold up. See how far I'm gonna go back with this. It wasn't that one. All right, hold on. I'm gonna come back to what I was reading. I just want to show this picture real quick because this picture is like it's the ultimate evidence, man. It's evidence all over the place, man. Any way you look, you see it, man. If you pay attention, you gonna realize that we was already here, man. It's no getting around that around it, okay? This is in Veracruz right here. This is in Mexico. There's another image right now. This ain't got nothing to do with what I'm talking about, but this is just to go to show you that a lot of times when I do research, I have a lot of stuff up here. So, like, I mean, and right now I don't have no order that I'm doing this, but this is it right here. Check this shit out right here. Look at this. Mm. Now there's another one called Septentile something. Septentile. I got the picture of it. But you see this image right here? Look at this. Now this is in French. But you know what? Actually saying it's in Portuguese, right? Because now, I don't know, maybe I could be wrong about this. But I'm starting to think that the French spoke a form of Portuguese as well. Now I know all of that is a form of Latin from what the Portuguese speak, what the Spanish speak, and what the French speak. But when I was looking this up right here, they were saying that this is in Portuguese, right? I was thinking that this is French. You know what I'm saying? Detroit, all like these little sayings because like when I went to culinary school, I had to relearn French. Well, I took a French class. I wasn't totally successful with that, but I was a little bit more better with like French entrees and when you say like let's say you say buttercoat. Buttercoat is a form of beef. Now you say buttercoat D means of buttercoat D something else. You know what I'm saying? But that's just an example. You say butico. Butico is a form of beef. Of D will be of, and you will say something of and something else with it or whatever. Right now, like I said, I always thought that this was French right here, but when I looked it up, it turned out to be Portuguese. If I'm not mistaken, like I said, I really didn't go too far into it, but I was trying to translate this saying right here. Okay. Now look, this is in Detroit. See this? It's in Detroit. Okay. Now look at the people. Look at these motherfuckers, man. Look at this. You understand? Now my man's saying this is in Patagonia because they do got that type of like the shit that I seen that the people in Patagonia had. But if for some reason, like I said, I believe this is in Detroit or around like the Great Lake region, right? They see this? Like I said, man, this shit go on and on and on. Let's get back to what I was going before so I can send brothers a link. All right, so right here, Lake Michigan against the British. It say when the British tried to recruit, we went through that already. 1780, it say British forces attack Indians and French Canadians. Yeah, French Canadians because the French came through the back way. They want you to believe everybody came right across the river and started bringing and say, no, none of these people, yo, that's like the biggest lie we're being taught is that all the Europeans came here to basically bring slaves over here. All of these people, the French, if they was not setting up colonies over here, was no reason to bring people over here just for the fuck of it, you dummies. And like I said, even the Haitians came from Louisiana. Listen, I'm 100% that the Nazi is the motherfucking Haitians. I'm 100% sure of that. The Nazi is the Haitians. Now, you want to say it was other people who might have been brought there to that island from somewhere else that now falsely classified as Haitians or whatever. We can say that too. But for the most part, I'm 100% sure. Because right, even when you're dealing with this right here, this is all around the same time when the French was expelled from that region of what we consider North America. When you start all these expeditions and all this or whatever, this is when the British. Now you see that they fighting the British, right? So now let me get finished. Let's read through this because I guess I got a lot of shit I want to show y'all. All right, so this is gonna be a heavyweight bill. All right, so 1781. You gotta excuse me too. I'm a little congested, so if you hear me sniffling and stuff like that, I don't have a cold, but I'm a little, for some reason, I'm just congested. I've been using the eucalyptus, but for some reason, at certain times, like I'm having a little problems with breathing right now, so just bear with me as well as on that too. All right, so Indian forces in St. Louis and attacked and attacked a British post. They say in southwestern Michigan. When the Americans won the war, look, check this out. Look. Check this out. Look. I thought they bought Louisiana and all that shit. The Louisiana Purchase, right? Look, when the Americans won the war, they took the entire Midwest from the British in the Treaty of Paris in 1783. Now, I was under the Treaty of the Treaty of Paris is dealing with the motherfucking French. You understand what I'm saying? It's dealing with the French. Okay? Now look, they say as more and more white settlers begin to move into Ohio River, the Ohio Indians found themselves in a war with the United States from 1790 to 1794. Now listen to this. Listen to this. Okay, 1790 to 1794. Many of the Pottawatomie fought in this war against the Americans. Well, really not Americans. They ain't nothing but other Europeans. And this is how they kind of confusing you because we got Europeans as British. We got Europeans as the French. These are all Europeans too. And then you got Europeans as American. They want you to believe. So why is the British here? What the fuck is what reason did the British have to come here? What reason did they have to? Oh, they just came here to be friends with shit and just smoke and drink with the Indians. What business did they have here? And why is the Americans fighting against them? So all along, so now we only had two people to pick. Either we're gonna be colonized by the Americans, which these are rogue British people, okay, or are we gonna be colonized by the Brits, or by the French, or by the Spanish, or whoever? Who are we going to choose to be colonized by, or are we gonna fight against all of them when that wasn't the key thing neither, because how you gonna fight against all of them when you got other aborigines who fighting with them, who's getting promises? This is where you get a lot of these freemen from, because there's no way I don't want to hear that you bought your slavery by showing alliance to them. That's how these people trusted you. That's how they trusted you. They just wasn't letting the biggest motherfucker who run around here smacking up crackers and shit. They ain't just gonna let him buy his freedom. No. It was motherfuckers who they already was sure of. And this is even this and even that go back into like the Boule and the Talented 10 and all of these society that you see right motherfucking now. Because as long as you show that you was with these people, then you was with them. Give me a second. Let me go blow my nose real quick. Excuse me. Yeah, all right. So let's continue. Let's get off of this because it's a lot of stuff to read in this. All right. All right. So from 1790 to 1794, the Pottawatomie fought against the Americans. All right. It say, and the war turned many Indians against the United States. Okay. So it say in the early 19th century, the Shawnee joined. Now they jumping from time to time. Look, the Shawnee joined the Indian Military Alliance with the British during the war 1812. But the Shawnee eventually lost their stronghold in Wisconsin and other parts of the Midwest when the British lost the war had to return their conquered land. After falling on hard times, the Pottawatomie had ceded much of their land. Excuse me. Had ceded much of their land to the United States in the mid 19th century, and the tribe split up and relocated to various distance located such as Texas, Kansas, Ohio, Canada. Or say, although many stayed in Wisconsin. Now check this out. Now, once you cede your land, now think of it like this, right? Once you cede your land, you're no longer on there. Then now you ain't got no way to really survive because your land is what provides you the food in the area you was in. Like I said, the food and water and the basic the basic stuff you need to survive out here. Okay, now we know that these Europeans was burning up crops. We know that that's the way that they was getting you because what do you get when you study this shit? They wanted the land. What happened to most of the Indians? They was either enslaved, meaning that they was forced to join alliances and work for these people for peanuts, for resources in which they had, because the European will come and burn down your crops, and now you ain't got no way to survive. And like it's so many things you have to look at for you to really understand what's going on. Yeah, it wasn't everybody wasn't slave. You had blacks, you had Indians even at this time who was living fat, who had slaves and everything. And this is what's not being properly told. When you automatically talk about slaves, people automatically think, oh, all these slaves was Africans. And oh, Indians own slaves, white people own slaves, and blacks own slaves too, or black Indians own slaves. But the Indians are black. This is where you're getting these classifications coming from. Because on the 1790 census, you do not see not one freaking Indian until 1870. So where are they going? If they fighting all these people, this look at the date this is. They say by the this is in the 1900s right here, but most of this stuff is in the 1600s, 1800s. After they losing these wars against these people, where are these people going to? What is they doing? It's living. Where are they going to? Oh, they going to other communities where black people was at, and they joining them. So these are like you saying that basically a bunch of so-called tribes who lost their identity. Now they take on the fact that they Negro, colored, or black. So let's keep it moving. All right, let's keep it chucking. All right, so the Catawba tribe. All right, the Catawba. Now check this out. Excuse me. The Catawba, a tribe with a population of a few hundred that lived in the predominant area along the border of South Carolina and North Carolina. That would be where Charlotte sided with the Americans in 1775. The Catawba in numerous key battles in South and North Carolina, such as 1776 campaign against the Cherokee, the Battle of Haw River in North Carolina, the Battle of Fishing Creek and Rocky Mountain in South Carolina, the Battle of Hanging Rock in South Carolina, and the Battle of Utah Springs in 1781. All right. So 1780, the British invaded the South, and the Catawba village became a temporary refuge for American troops. But the British troops eventually forced the Catawba to flee north to Virginia when they burnt their villages and confiscated their cattle and other goods. Now look, you see that? And confiscate their cattle and other goods. Now this is in 1778. Okay. Now this is in 1778. The British invaded the South. Now listen, think of this shit, right? You got whoever writing this got you believing that the British and the Americans are two different people, okay? First of all, we know that the word American originally applied to the Aborigines, okay? So the people who they claiming to be American are British, okay? They are British, or they another European so-called tribe, or white or pale-skinned European tribe, if you will, okay? So they got the British, like the British is just friends, they just here chilling. But like I told you the other day, at this fucking point in time, the British was all black. So this is the reason why this is the reason why a lot of motherfuckers who was sent over here was motherfucking slaves, or was slaves over there in Europe, white slaves, creoles, etc., etc. But at this point in time, King James, George the Third, all of them, these are all Negroes. This is when you get in Georgia and Carolina. Well, Carolina and all that came from a different source. Like Charleston came from Charlestown. Charlotte came from King James. I mean, I'm sorry, not King James, but George the Third wife, Queen Charlotte. Now these are all Negroes. This is the reason why you starting to see these images of all these blacks in Europe with fine clothes on and big hats and stuff with feathers. This is the reason why you're seeing these images, because them was all people who was running shit over there at that point in time. When the motherfucking Americans, they trying to separate the white Europeans from the British. The British, which we would assume would be the black nobility, because even this is where Queen Elizabeth and all these people is getting the title from, the black nobility. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to really look into that to really understand. I already been down that road long time ago. I already read a lot of some brother by the name of Jose Pimenta Bay. He got some good books on the Europeans over there, as well as even when you hear about Dr. Ben. Dr. Ben got some good works on the you know what I'm saying, the black nobility over there in Europe. And it's a lot of other brothers. It's a lot of other brothers. Today I'm gonna put together a video and just you know what I'm saying, show y'all that it's a lot of evidence out there showing you that the original Europeans was Negroes. They was not people who came from North Africa. North Africa is Europe. You understand what I'm saying? See how they trick you with these directions. They trick you with directions. And if you're not, like I said, if you're not advised on it, if you're really not paying attention, you're never gonna question the person who writing these books, because you're gonna be so mesmerized by their work. You're never gonna take it. You're never gonna look at it at face value as a way for you to get the ultimate learning is you seeing this shit in your interpret, or you taking this and summarize it, and you come up with your own interpretation of what you get. And that's what a good reader's supposed to get. When you're reading something, you're supposed to be able to leave that book with your own interpretation, and also be able to summarize this in your own words. You understand what I'm saying? Which pretty much this is the whole goal to what we consider what they call it, when you studying, damn, I can't even think of the word right now, y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. But nonetheless, though, that's pretty much what the ultimate goal with reading or anything, because anything that's comprehension, you're supposed to be able to take that and then, like I said, summarize it and come up with your own interpretation. So, like I said, you get a lot of these books you read according to how the author or the person that writing the book wants you to read it. No, that's not how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to be on alert and on code of the previous work you have. Well, these two's not matching up. You're supposed to be a great scholar, and the other guy is a acclaimed scholar. So, who is saying what? You understand what I'm saying? So that's a whole other story. I ain't gonna go into that. So at 1782, the General Charles Cornwallis surrendered the Yorktown to the Catawba. It say the Catawba returned home to the South Carolinas. It say paid them for their services. The Catawba. Now listen. Now these are people being paid. The Catawba was paid for basically joining these people or fighting with them. Now, you see a lot of that stuff going on, and this is the reason why you see a lot of people who was able to keep a lot of their property. But remember, After Reconstruction, a lot of these people who were set and set up down south or whatever was basically chased up north because of with the emerging of the KKK and these certain so-called Freemason societies, secret societies that was put together to basically chase black Indians off of their land or chase the indigenous people off their land. So what do we see? The European wanted the land. That's all you fucking see. When you really study this stuff, all you see is the European wanting the land. All right, so let me continue. Because it's 10. I won't be done with this shit by like 12. All right, so the Catawba also received, I don't know why the fuck this should be popping up. Catawba also received a state-recognized reservation in South Carolina as the result of their support of the Americans, which they still occupy today. Now look, see? See, look. So how did some of these so-called tribes eventually keep land and keep everything? Because they was selling out, man. They was selling. It's telling you right there. Wasn't nobody the biggest, baddest motherfucker. I don't care how big it is. Your father probably could have ripped somebody's head off. But them crackers wanted that land. They was gonna find a way to get your family off of that. And it ain't got nothing to do with, oh man, you a punk ass nigga. No. It ain't got nothing to do with being no punk. What are you gonna do? Okay, you gonna fight all these motherfuckers every night? So you got a family with 3 daughters and a son and a wife and shit. You got cows and a few. You probably got 1 dog or something like that. So you gonna fight these crackers every night. Every night you gonna fight. So 100 motherfuckers come up with masks on and fucking a burning cross, and you gonna run out the house banging on your chest. I'm a man. Every night you gonna do that. So every night you gonna do that, and every night you gonna be successful at doing it. Fuck out of here, man. All right, so the Chickasaw, a southern tribe with a population of 4,000, which we know was higher than that, it's they who lived in Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Missouri, with the British during the Revolutionary War. The Chickasaw had been trading partners with and allies of the British throughout the 18th century and continued their support for the British in the Revolutionary War. All right, now like I showed y'all. They show you the evidence. This is the reason why I read this shit. This is the reason why I read this. Look, Chickasaw participated in the wars mostly by patrolling the Mississippi River against American attackers and engaging in battle against American Colonel George Roger Clark in present-day Illinois. Small groups of Chickasaw warriors also helped Britain defend Mobile and Pensacola against the Spanish in 1780. All right, so now look at these. These is Negroes. Do these look anything like any Native Americans? Okay. Okay, look at this. This nigga got his hair braided. Look, this nigga, look. Hey, listen, let me tell y'all something, man. They put this shit right in front of our faces, and we don't fucking understand. We don't understand none of this shit. Look at this, man. Look at these. This is the Chickasaw right here. These are freaking Negroes. Okay, look. Hey, yo, man. Like I said, bro, look. Listen. The way we were showed that Indians look, they got straight hair. They look a certain way. These don't look like that. These are motherfucking Negroes. All right, so let's keep it moving, y'all. Look. Hold up. Hold the fuck up. Hold up. It say a splendid, look. Now look, they go another source. John. Why all these motherfuckers who wrote all this stuff over here or made these drawings name is John? You got John Oberly, John Fairburn. Now it says a splendid pair. Illustration by John Almond showing King George III sharing a bone with a native. Now, I told you King George III was a Negro. Okay, I don't know what's going on here, but according to the history that I've got, he was a motherfucking Negro. Okay, so let's don't be like, oh, he said he wasn't. I still believe he was a Negro. Okay, so let we go somewhere else with that. But nonetheless, though, for the most part, even we don't fuck proving that he's a motherfucking Negro. Let's prove that we here are Negroes. Okay, so as you see the drawings, these do not look like no motherfucking Indians. Okay, but they saying that these are natives. Okay, with braids in their hair. These are Negroes. I don't give a fuck what you tell me. And this was one of the reasons that caught me on to get this. But remember, this guy name is John Almond. That's Almon. John John. All right, so we continue. As a matter of fact, you know what? Let me send the brothers the link right now. Oh, shit. Yeah, man. The history is really what's going to get you, man. Because not enough people believe that we was here, and that's the shit that. So if you on there, you tell people, oh, about just yourself. You know what I'm saying? That ain't helping nobody, man. That's not helping nobody. If you ain't trying to tell people as a whole, or who the fuck they, or give them some type of idea. You know what I'm saying? They're not helping us. It's not helping us. You can do your own family research all you want, but if you don't have no clue that you're a damn Indian, then you ain't gonna get nowhere. You gonna still think you are African. Oh, shit, hold on. You gonna still think you're African, and you ain't gonna never get nowhere. So that's why I show y'all the pictures. That's why I show you anthropology and archaeology work. That's why I pretty much try to show y'all all that. For you just to identify, because you gotta identify with being here first. That's the first thing you gotta identify with being here. You know what I'm saying? You have to identify with being here first. First thing. Understand? So, hey man, y'all want to come? I just sent y'all the link. So, let me get finished. Please mute your mics when you come in, though, brother, so I can get finished reading this. So, the Choctaw tribe. Okay, now we know about a lot of this stuff, but like I said, I like to pick pieces of information and just pretty much read and see what I can snatch from it and what I can learn from it according to and apply it to the information that we already got thus far. Okay, there's probably thousands of books, hundreds of books written about the Choctaw, about a lot of these tribes, but the main component is that we tribes that was signed with the British, if they was captured by the Americans, they were fucking prisoners of war. Where are they at on the census then? If they was captured, they was enumerated. These are bodies, so they counting these bodies in the enumeration process. And all of this is around the same time as 1790, okay? This is around the same time before they made the first census. This is let me just do this. We're gonna touch on that. We're going to touch on that. So the Choctaw, a southern tribe with a population of 15,000 who inhabited 50 villages. Okay, now the last one he said 40,000, and we were trying to get a count of how many people could have been living in them 40 villages, right? Now they said 15,000 here in 50 villages. So 40,000, let's say 14,000 or let's say 12,000, but it was more than 10,000 people. Now these is tens and tens of thousand people that keep adding up in these different regions of the country or whatever, and like nobody is catching on to anything. But check this out. So it said with a population of 15,000 who inhabited about 50 villages, and a key strategy position of the lower Mississippi. It's a word converted by both American and the British during the Revolutionary War, but the tribe sided with the British. Okay, here we go. Now check this out. After the start of the Revolutionary War, the British hired the Choctaw warriors to patrol the Mississippi River against the American attacks in February of 1778. Now listen, check this out. Check this out, okay? Because what happened to these people? Are these people, this 1778, the census date to 1790. So what happened to all of these prisoners of war? Because I don't see that they putting them, oh, this is an Indian, or they got 8 Indians on this damn census. I know certain people don't believe in census, but at some point in time, we can't throw all the evidence out. We have to keep something to where we have some type of gauge to really have a measuring point so we can figure this shit out. Okay, let me go blow my nose again.
Word. Peace to the chat. Peace to the fam, y'all. Hope y'all enjoying the build, man. A1 getting it in real strong. We need this info right here dealing with the Choctaw. So let's keep it rolling. Give us Big Bro some time, y'all. Much love to the chat. Shout out to everybody, man.
Yeah, we got Jag back in the motherfucking building. Go ahead, AP.
Oh, no. Greetings, brother. Appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? You already know. Peace to the chat. Blessings. Much love. Let's get it. You in your bag today, though. You in your bag. Keep going.
Hey, yo, check this out, yo. I watched that video, yo. That shit, we ain't gotta mention it, but I watched that fucking video, yo. I was like, yo, like, are you serious? But that I say, like, it be too many motherfuckers trying to click up with this shit and ain't got zero information of what the fuck is really going on. You following other people and you ain't putting no research in. You ain't bringing no research to the fucking table. Talking about flat earth and all this other goofy shit. That ain't gonna help you in North America. Whether the other side of the planet is flat, whether the other side of the planet could be a fucking box for all I give a fuck. That shit not gonna help me here in 2019 with the situation going. Oh shit, the earth is flat. So I guess we just all know at this point in time. So what are you gonna get knowing any of this goofy shit? But nonetheless, though, that's why I say a lot of you motherfuckers who be clicking up in this community and who be following people. And I ain't saying, listen, don't get me wrong when I say people, because we study people, we get information from them in order to either add to us, or if we feel as though this person is could be a good a friend or associate or whatever you want to consider this individual to be, whatever, then you might click up with them. But I'm starting to see it's too many people beefing with too many people, yo, and it's just like, yo, this shit is just falling apart. That's why, like I said, I fuck with who I fuck with. I don't care. I'm not even going to let it get to the point to where I'm cursing nobody out. I'm not. I'm just going to not fuck with you. Just not going to fuck with you. I'm not getting cursing, talking all that shit that if we was in real time, nigga wouldn't be saying nothing. Nigga be quiet as a church mouse. You know what I'm saying? Nigga ain't gonna be saying nothing. But at the end of the day, man, we got a lot of different. The information is the motherfucking common denominator while we are all here. We not here for no egos. We not here because, you know, I like the way Jag be wearing his hair and shit. You know what I'm saying? I like the way AP be doing his thing. I mean, listen, to individuals, if that's your preference, that's good for you. I'm here for this motherfucking information. Not here for nobody fucking avatars or none of this other shit. I'm here for the information so I can liberate my family, liberate myself, and liberate the people who want to be liberated. Okay? Because if you don't know, right now you teaching all these motherfuckers out here be teaching shit or whatever, it's not getting us nowhere. It's not getting us nowhere. You telling me about your motherfucking individual family is not helping me. Because when I look up my family, it's still saying that they was Negroes. I think they Africans. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, I know, yeah, my people did tell us we was Indian, but that shit ain't gonna help me because my grandmother told me I was an Indian fucking in the 70s. It's 2019 right now, and I gotta hear this shit from somebody on YouTube. So obviously it wasn't that important to me. But then when I do my research and I look up my people, then I'm still saying my people, oh, he's an African. Well, he was a Negro or colored, but I'm not smart enough to understand what Negro and colored was. Them was original Indians. So let's keep it moving, man. But yeah, that video was hilarious, bro. That shit was hilarious, man. I ain't on that type of time, bro.
Nah. When listen, I was just sitting there and I don't know, somehow I ran across it and I seen the title. And you know me, bro. I ran straight, I
Bro,
looked
that's
in.
good shit because that lets you know what type of niggas you be dealing with. You
I
understand what I'm
told you,
saying? Like,
yeah, niggas be
that let
cornballs. Like,
you, yeah. Yo, like,
Hey, you got
like I
this.
said,
This is for the people. Like you say, it's for the people, man. Like we ain't trying to get nobody to follow us or get get you to do anything. You know what I'm saying? It's just simply here it is. Check it out and take it there, take it far. You know what I'm saying? Like when you got somebody trying to get you to be up under them and yo, if you with me or not, this and that. Like you say, man, this is YouTube. I mean, come on, man. We got to
right,
get
it's
this real.
real. Yeah, that's really weird because we're not here to force y'all to take our word for shit. Matter of fact, we kind of tell you don't take our word for shit. That's why we go so hard to get these books and bring out all these sources and articles so you can take it upon yourself to go do the research, and you might even take it a little farther. And you hit us back like, look, I found this, that, and the third, and this is the way this information supposed to spread. It's like a wildfire, a intellectual wildfire that we supposed to be enhancing. And sometimes, we get roadblocks, but we only here to push the information because it's critical to us and our
that's
well-being,
right.
especially this history.
Mm-hmm. And that's what it is. And so, all right. So look. So when you really do your research, right? Now, I'm showing you. You gotta understand this shit, man, because you got tribes that's siding with British, and the British got the same intentions as the British is the people who brought the motherfucking Americans here, or the British is the people who brought the other British that's being called the Americans here, that's trying to take the land here. So you fighting with him, and he's going to take the land, and you fighting with him, and he's going to take the land all together instead of coming together and fighting against both these motherfuckers, pushing them off the land. But you fighting against each other. Oh, I need his trinkets. Oh, he giving me fire stick. And like I said, we're going to get into this shit. We're going to get into this shit because I got some other shit pulled up. So this is just not the end. I just wanted. There's a lot of literature with this. I got some other things pulled up. So let me get through this, and we can get to the second part of this. All right. So the Choctaw, we said 15,000. They say they was working with both the Americans and the British during the Revolutionary War. They say at the start of the Revolutionary War, the British hired the Choctaw warriors to patrol the Mississippi River. All right, so it said February 78. This 12 years before the so-called census, American Captain James Willen led an expedition down the river attacking British settlements all the way down to Louisiana. They say the British responded by organizing a band of 155 Choctaw warriors to march to one of the settlements under the threat that the Nazi to protect it. All right. Now, like I said, here we go with this. Talking about the Nazi. All right. All right. So it said Americans had retreated by the time that the Choctaw reached Nazi. But they managed to convince the Nazi residents to remain pro-British. Now, the Nazi residents are Indians, so they got them to remain pro-British. All right. After Spain declared war on Britain, hundreds of Choctaw warriors helped the British defend Mobile. In 1780 in Pensacola and 1780-81. It's even though a small fraction of Choctaw warriors supported Spain. After the British lost the war, the Choctaw lost the British as trading partners and was forced to seek trade with Spain and the United States. All right. Now look, so now what are you trading for when you got land and you got all of the produce, you got the lakes and all of the shit? Why are you doing any trading? Okay, the Creek tribe. The Creek, a tribe with a population of 15,000 that lived in Georgia, Alabama, Florida, North Carolina, never officially joined the war effort. It's a preferring instead to engage in a curious participation. It's a fractionism within the tribe was a major factor in preventing the tribes from unifying. And look, listen what it say. It's a factorism within the tribes were a major factor in preventing the tribes from unifying and joining the war effort. It's a Creek towns were divided among the lower town and upper towns. It's say with each town asserting its own foreign policies. As a access to the European manufactured goods were the Creek biggest concern. Look, you fucking sellouts. You want Jordans and North Faces and fucking biker jackets and all this shit. Look, access to the European manufactured goods were the Creek biggest concern, and the war put trade relations in jeopardy. Okay. Now you're starting to see this shit now, right? Now you're starting to understand. It say yet the war also provided Creek with the ability to acquire trade goods by providing military services. So how did a lot of these people become? Because understand this, we already know they're calling Indians Negro and colored. You have people who are, because for some of us, we think colored people are lighter than the Negroes, when that's not true. Like I said, my father is fucking dark brown and he got fucking colored on his birth certificate. You understand what I'm saying? He got colored on his birth certificate. So a lot of people under the thing that, the colored people was the lighter skinned people. No. A motherfucker who you might assume to be a full-blooded Negro was classified as colored too. You understand? So let's keep it moving. All right. What is that? All right. So providing military services. All right. And all you gotta do is just use your brain. Look for the motherfucking people who they showing you that's Indians. And if you don't see these people around, 9 out of 10 they was not the people who they claim to be. Okay, so it says especially in Mobile and Pensacola campaign between Britain and Spain in 1780 and 81. Still, other Creeks used the war to strengthen their political position by taking leadership roles in diplomacy. Nevertheless, the Creek tribes never engaged in significant sustained fighting during the war. All right, so now we got the Cherokee, all right, or the Aniyawanya, okay? Cherokee, a southern tribe with a population of 85. Now look, 8,500. Now, they cooking books. We talk about this probably 85,000, okay? They say the Cherokee, a southern tribe with a population of 8,500 who lived in the inner hill county of Carolina, Georgia, sided with the British during the Revolutionary War. So they sided with the British, okay? Now, understand this. If you sided with the British, the Americans was enemies. So that means that even after the war, the Americans was your enemies, or the people or the Europeans that calling themselves Americans, because we know that the Americans really are the motherfucking Cherokee, the Creek, the Choctaw, or the tribes itself are the people who are attaching this to this land. To be an American, you have to be an Attachant, meaning you have to have the minerals and the compounds that resides on this landmass flowing through your, you want to say your 666 pack, aka your body, or you want to have your chemical makeup. That's what made what's the brother name in AP? What's the brother name with the oldest DNA in North Carolina?
Walter Perry. I think it's Walter Perry. Right.
That's exactly Walter Perry. So the reason why Walter Perry was made what he was, who he was, because of the chemical compounds that created him, that exist on this soil, which makes him an Attachant. So the reason why none of these motherfuckers is a time because they still messing with Europeans, so they're never going to have no connection to this land. For the ones that you do see, a lot of these European women marrying these football players, they getting the Tanshan's blood in them. Or and you gotta look at that too from another view. That's a whole another area I don't really want to go in right now. But what I'm saying is, if you European, let's say you're a cracker, you come from Europe, you come from Britain, you come over here, you marry another Briton, and then you keep that process going, then you will never be or have these minerals that makes us a Tanshan flowing through your bloodstream. You understand? You understand what that means? So keep it moving. All right. So all right. So the Cherokee joined the Revolutionary War.
Just to
I'm sorry,
correct, that was Albert Perry. Thanks for the correction in the chat. Albert Perry, appreciate it.
Yeah, Albert Perry, yeah, my bad, yo. What you said? Willie Perry, William? You said Walter Perry. Well, it's all G, man. It's all G.
One of them Negro now.
Thanks. Shout out to whoever that was for definitely helping us out with that. Let me see something. Okay, all right. So we entering talking about Dragon Canoe. Now I want to touch on this because this is going to be a different perspective. And touched on the Chippemunga and Dragon Canoe, but this is going to be, like I said, a different perspective. All right, so in the spring of 1776, this was before the United States was established, young warrior led by Chief Dragon Canoe, or Chief what they call him, some. I can't get his name out right now, but nonetheless, though, Cherokee Dragon Canoe launched attacks on American frontier. In Carolina and in Georgia, it say in retaliation for illegal encroachment of their land, illegal encroachment of their land, and this is illegal encroachment all throughout this country. Okay, because they even telling you, even in places where they telling you that they purchased the land, now they slipping up like, oh, they took the land from them. Oh no, but they gave it to them. Gave the Duke of York, New York. He didn't. The Duke of York didn't pound him, keep punching him in his face until they say, well, all right, give up. All right, give up. You can have the land. The Dutch just say, you know what? Oh, you need that? All right, bet. You can have that. And then they just left. The fuck out. Duke of York grabbed him by his shirt and you started pounding him. You want to give me the land? Poof. You want to give me the land? Poof. You want to give me the land? Yes, I'm going to give you the land. Don't hit me no more. And this is pretty much what happened. You understand what I'm saying? And this is what we don't clearly understand. You understand what I'm saying? This is what we don't understand, but we're going to get into this shit. We're going to get into this, all right? So, American frontier, encroachment for land, according to articles in the Encyclopedia of Alabama website, the willingness of Dragon Canoe and other warriors to take the fight to white. See, now, you got white settlers as the Americans. You got white settlers as the British. You got white settlers as the Dutch. You got white settlers as every motherfucking body coming out that land over there, what we consider to be Europe, or they're coming further from the land into Europe and these established colonies, because this is what they was doing. See, the European, what he was doing was they like to encroach on the land. So encroachment of the land is, if you in Europe and as far as occupying these castles, this is the reason why they showing these drawings with these white people outside these castles, and you see Negroes inside the castles fighting, because they trying to take over their shit. And this is what they wanted to do. See, the European was lazy. He didn't come and say, well, teach me how to do this. He wanted to come and burn your shit down and then take over your shit. This is what they did, encroachment of the land. And this is when you fighting for reparations. One of the things you fighting for is the fact that you've been reclassified as an African when these people know that they got you from here. So that's the first crime that they did. The second crime they did, they promised us 40 acres and a mule, which they never gave that to us, all right? The third crime is, why would they have to promise us anything when this was our motherfucking land? They've been encroaching on the land. The fourth thing is the war on drugs, the police brutality. All of this shit that come along that made us dysfunctional people that other people don't have to go with. And these people deserve to give us a redress of grievances. And like I said, if the Europeans willing to apologize and to where I can economically help my people better, and I'm willing to take that. But we always know that the system itself, we know that the United States is the motherfucking system. The whole system is the United States. So whether or not the United States give you what they feel as though they should give from what you take. If I run in your house right now and take your shit, and then you come back like, yo, man, like, yo, let me that, you know, that's some bitch, that's some bad shit. But at some point in time, you have to know when you lost the war or when you lost anything, and if these people are willing to make amends and give you a redress, and whatever wrong they did, make it right. We gotta be willing to accept that no matter what. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I'm at even with this shit. So my thing is, I'm glad people talk about reparations. I ain't gonna be one of these people who gonna say, I don't want mine, fuck that, the white man. Cause we ain't gonna go directly to the white man and fuck him up. So we might as well take something. You know what I'm saying? Because niggas had all this time to do. That's what they was gonna do. They would have did it by now. And me and T had the same conversation last night. And I just was trying to just really like pretty much say the same thing. But you know what though? Chief, if you in the link chat room, I'm gonna send you a link and we can have this conversation now. But nonetheless, so let me continue though. But yeah, but as far as reparations, if they're gonna give us, we don't want them to give us nothing. We don't really want nothing. But guess what though? Do they owe us? We keep saying that they owe us, but then when we say we don't want nothing, no, you owe. Give me that. Give me that. I'm taking that. Oh, I ain't gotta go to work for you no more. Oh, okay, give me that. Give me that. And it's supposed to be, the number's supposed to be 6.4 trillion for the 40 acres and the mule. And they saying that's to 40 million people, which my thing is this, right? How the fuck, it's 10 years later and it's still 44 million of us. So we ain't exceed 100,000 in 10 years. We ain't exceed 100,000 people. We ain't managed to populate 100,000 people into, you know what I'm saying, into the so-called Black American or Black Indian population at this point in time. With all the babies that's being born, it's still 44 million of us. Fuck out of here. The fuck out of here. Oh, the 44 million of us. And you keep hearing these same so-called educated people with the same shit. Okay? Like I said, you got Tariq Nasheed, and like I said, I'm taking shots at this point in time because these motherfuckers can't be that fucking bright. They can't be that bright because you saying you a slave, but yet I'm showing you Indians that were slaves too. Oh, but these same Indians was on the same plantation with these African slaves. Oh, the Africans only came in. Oh, stop it. This is us, man. This is us. This is us. The Indian slave is the slave of the Negro. That's it. Still a little stuffy, all right. So, all right. So it say they take the fight to the white settlers. Remember, the white settlers is starring as the British too, and starring as the Americans. So when you hear the word American, the Americans starring the white settlers. When you hear the word of British, starring the white settlers. When you hear the word Indian, starring the white settlers too, in most cases. Okay. But then you got the Negro starring the African. But then you got the Negro starring the Indian. But then you got the colored starring the Indian. Then you got the black starring the Indian. But then you got no Indian starring the black. So come on, man. At some point in time, you can't keep on letting nobody fucking interpret it how you think and what comprehension you are getting from the literature that you're reading. Because if you only read literature, see, Yvette Cannell, I spoke to her. My language. But I spoke to her, and she said, "Oh, well, there was thousands of blacks who wrote about this because they was taught by Europeans. You damn idiot! You gotta find the books pre-Reconstruction, so you can pretty much understand. Because you calling yourself a slave, but they enslaved 16 more times Indians on these same reservation. So your African slave was surrounded by thousands of so-called Indians, but yet you ain't thinking that. So if that one poor African slave, who did he mate with? Who did that African slave mate with? If it ain't but Indians around him, who did he mate with? Do you even know anything about the Indian slavery? Do you even know I'm in the 1700s and I'm about to pull up the census and you don't see no Indians on the motherfucking census in none of these so-called, in none of the Carolinas, in none of the Georgia, none of the Louisiana. Why don't you see any Indians there? Because they was classifying them as blacks, you stupid motherfuckers. And I'm tired of fucking being the bearer of the bad news, but the word slave ain't got nothing to do with you being brought from no Africa. I'm tired of being bearer of the bad news amongst people who's supposed to be so educated. I'm a 7-time felon. I got 7 felony convictions for selling CDS or controlled dangerous substance or whatever. And even I can sit here. I don't have the best interpretation skills. I might not be Dr. Seuss. You know, and another thing, I don't tell nobody I have dyslexia, right? And it kind of like a lot of time when you hear me reading and shit, you hear me reading and I'll be like, because sometimes the words be getting overwhelming when you be reading fast and stuff like that. But even me, I probably read like on the 8th grade level, 9th grade level. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm smart enough to sit here and comprehend and learn and teach the fucking people. But yeah, you got motherfuckers who reading like Dr. Seuss, sound like Shakespeare and shit. They be reading like Shakespeare and shit, you know what I'm saying? And they still can't seem to go outside the lines of what they are learning, meaning that they are reading people content, but they're not thinking for themselves, okay? Hold on 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, y'all.
Nah, so he absolutely right. You know what I'm saying? It take a motherfucker that's really wanna look at the information and really look in between the lines and be able to put shit together in plain sight. You know what I'm saying? Because they been telling you that the black Indians been here the whole time. It's right in front of your face. It's in plain sight. From the time they start talking about Africans coming here in 1619, Africa wasn't even in the equation. Only Americas. It was in plain sight. I'm just saying.
That's right, man. And then you start having these little societies and institutions coming up with their own little African theories, man. And that's where we at today. So glad A1 breaking this down. We're gonna be breaking more of this down.
That's right.
Ain't
And then look, think of it like this too, Jai, at AP. With all that being said, your grandmother still knows you that you had Indian in you. That even look, even after all that shit, you was told you was African. They brought all these African shit, but your grandmother's still telling you got Indian in you. How? So it was either you was outnumbered more by the African or whatever, or you was outnumbered more by the so-called Indians. Which one was it? For you to have, for you to even have or be able to say, well, because what's the chances of you even coming in contact with any Indians? Why would you have to be mixed with Indians if you was a slave and you was living amongst your own people? How all these black people who live in all these black towns, all these black people who don't have none of these Indian looking features, how the fuck all these motherfuckers got Indian in them? You tell me. Either you are the Indian or the Indian ain't the Indian. That's the fucking
right.
question. Because even looking at these images right here, man. And we done been over this shit, man. Like I said, this is what did it for me, man. I don't give a fuck with nobody. This is the shit that did it for me, man. When I started seeing this shit like this, I said, these niggas been lying to us, man. Like, look, Hispaniola. It's another picture right here, right? Click on this.
That's right, man. Hey, like I was telling y'all, man. My grandma, she told me, "You still think you African?" I was like, well, that's what I've been studying. And she said, "Oh, you gonna move to Africa?" I was like, well, I'ma try to. And she said, huh, I guess you gonna be an African monkey then. Cause we ain't no Africans, grandson. That's exactly what she told me. And I got Joan for almost a year or two straight trying to be African by my grandmama. Shout out to her, man. She rising in peace.
That's a
Bro.
fact.
Yeah. Rest in peace, grandma. Rest in paradise. Um, like I said, listen, we got more than enough information to present to anybody because we got images. We got archaeologists and anthropologists who are agreeing that the people that they ran across resemble African, Australian, and South Pacific Islanders. Then you got you, the actual person who can say that you actually got Indian in your motherfucking family. Then you got the Indians that were slaves. How much more motherfucking proof do you fucking need? Then you got them telling you that they taking you to the West Indies. But yet we so fucking stupid to say, well, oh, they took the Africans to the West Indies. Oh, most of the Africans came from the West Indies. You dumb motherfucker. Because that's the way they want the story to go. They didn't want you to know, oh, there was already Negroes in North America. So the Negroes that they took to the West Indies was Negroes too. So when they bring back these Negroes, and somebody like, oh, that's a Negro. Oh, he's from Africa. He's not an Indian. No. And then motherfucker looking like, hold up. That's an Indian.
And then another thing, A1, it ain't like they go out the way to tell you like, grandma, like where we come from, like that's normal shit that people ask, and grandma be like, we Indian. And the funny thing about that situation is, I don't hear nothing else. I mean, just Indian. Like, what else y'all mix with? Black? Like, but
and that's it. It says so simple.
I don't hear none of that shit. Like, I don't get that. Like, that shit be weird.
So,
like,
it's nothing to get. It's nothing to get because your mother's not under the mind control. That's what it is.
Right. They not under the mind control. I don't get how these Africans can sit up and say, yeah, my mama died thinking she was an African. I'm thinking she was Indian. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, she ain't died thinking. She knew who she was, and she trying to tell your dumb ass, but you still run around thinking that you're African and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but African ain't never been in the storyline from nobody that I've ever heard talk about their history. It's Black or Indian, and the blacks are the Indian. So that's where the confusion lies, and that's why we come through and just sweep it up and try to give it to you how it is. You know what I mean?
Indeed, my brother. Indeed. Let's keep it moving with this, man. Indeed. Thanks for the input, brothers. I appreciate it. Look, so check this out. Now, remember, this is in 17. We still in the 1700s before the first census was made. So where do you think the prisoners of these wars went? Where do you think they went? Because if we go to Virginia, oh, no Indians there, but we see blacks. We go to North Carolina. Oh, we don't see no Indians there, but we see blacks. And we see that the Americans are capturing these so-called Indian tribes that were siding with the British. So where the fuck are they at then? Where the fuck? Because the United States was already established at that point in time. That's why they established the United States against the fight against the so-called Aborigines. That's why they start. Because, and even like, I was telling somebody the other day, right? Even, listen, think of it like this, right? In America, right? Outside of these plantations, it wasn't like it's another block. Oh, let's go down a block right there. It's a whole nother population of people. Outside of the tribal people, the Aborigines, and outside of these European plantations, there was nothing. That's the reason how it was so easy to catch motherfuckers, because you was even forced to go live around the water, or you had to go somewhere and get food from somebody. Unless you, you know what I'm saying? Unless you think of it like this, you on a plantation and you ran away. Okay, so now you out in the middle of nothing, or not nothing, but you either, if you don't know where you from and you don't know the area you at, you don't know what that area produces. So certain areas might have had shit like fucking where we could go fish, or where they had sweet potatoes or corn, or some type of produce grew in that so-called region that you knew. But if you didn't know, then you had to go. The next town over might be inhabited by more Europeans, and they look, oh, he got a brand on his arm. Oh, he belongs to this search and such. This is the reason why the United States formed, because they was going around and they was telling other people who had other plantations and colonies, oh, this is our brand, this is how we rock it. Just like you see my Thompson is one logo or whatever, you see AP logo and you see Jag logo. Oh, this is my logo right here, so look out. So if you see somebody with this logo on, you know who he is already, such and such. You understand what I'm saying? This is the brands that they put it on you. So when you go outside, so even somebody like Nat Turner, even at that point in time when we hear about Nat Turner, it was still colonies established at that point in time. But you have to look, Nat Turner was in the 1800s, so that was after the United States formed. The United States would be the so-called 13 colonies. And that would be all of the so-called 13 colonies. The colonies in the South, such as like Georgia and Alabama and some of them, wasn't part of the first 13 colonies until after the expansion. See, as they coming across, they say, all right, well, we taking over this, so now you're part of the government. We taking over this, all right, so this, now you're part of the United States. We taking over this. So it went from 13 to 14 to 15 to 16 to 17 to 18 and 19, now all the way to 50, 51. They went to fucking, they went to Hawaii and took Hawaii. Now that's another state. And this is all they was fucking doing. You understand? It's all they was doing, man. It's all they was doing, y'all. So let's continue this. All right, so the government, in response to the colonial governments, it said Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia organized retaliatory expeditions against the Cherokees. It say during the summer and the fall of 1776, they invaded and burnt nearly all of the local villages in what became known as the Cherokee War 1706. Now remember, the 1776 is still a revolutionary war. So you got the Yamasee War going on at this point in time. You got the Cherokee War going on at this point in time, because they're trying to form the United States, and part of them forming the United States is part of them saying, well, we're going to have to conquer all these motherfucking Indians. Either the Indians that want to fight with us or the Indians that fighting with the British. Okay, we know the Cherokee fighting with the British, so now they are our enemy. And you have to understand this shit. You can't look at this shit just from a quick history. No, you ain't gonna read no one book that's gonna give you the proper perspective, to understand all of the information that you need for you to liberate yourself as far as all this shit. Because you still thinking a slave starving a slave. Oh, the slave is only the Negro, and the Negro is the African. But then you can't say, all right, well, hold up. They got Indian slaves that's outnumbering the African slaves. Don't you think I need to put that into this book? Oh, no, don't put that in the book. Leave that out. But wouldn't it be more important to tell the people that there was more Indian slaves than African slaves? No, leave that out. Leave that out. Because the person who reading going to say, what? So common sense will tell me, if my one African ancestor was on a motherfucking plantation with 100 Indians, that would not make me a motherfucking African. I would be an Indian. This is the reason why your grandmother told you who the fuck you was.
Super facts.
Oh, this shit is self-explanatory, man. So when you see these motherfuckers sit up there talking about Yvette Parnell and Tone Talks and Tariq Nasheed and all these niggas telling you you're African, they refer back to the Thompsons and say, God damn, the Thompson is telling you you're not that, and he's showing you proof to show you that. I'm not just showing you the fact what my grandmother said, because that's going to get me ran out the classroom. Because all they're going to say is, well, your grandmother was an African, or even if your grandmother was here for 1,000 years, she came from Africa at some point in time. And this is going to be the narrative. So I had to go read Michael Creedmoor. So I had to read get with anthropologists and archaeologists to prove this to prove this. So when somebody asks me, do you know anything about the pyramids here in North America? I can raise my hand. So when somebody asks me, do you know how the archaeologists and the anthropologists and the paleontologists work that was done here in the Americas, I can raise my motherfucking hand. When somebody asks me about the Indian society that was slaves, I can raise my hand. So I'm well versed to talk about all this shit. Yeah, I don't know about all the tribes, and I can't tell you everything, but I can tell you pretty much for the most part what my father eat. And I look at my father die and see all of the other Indians eating the same shit. All of them. Green tomatoes. He frying fish with He making hush puppies. He making fucking fried corn. He's making corn with this. He making corn with that. Yo, cornbread. Yo, listen. Please, somebody smack the shit out of me, man, for me being a stupid motherfucker all these fucking years, not giving people the right for me running around here with an African sign on, where Africa's a whole fucking continent. Now, if you want to be united with them people, it's cool, but them people not united with you. You go over there with that African symbol, they're gonna laugh at your ass. They're gonna laugh at your dumb Pan-African ass.
They is, because they don't even rock like that over there.
Rock like that.
They don't rock like that at all. It's totally different from what these people try to teach you what Africa is over here, man. Africa is not learning no deities and all this and that. Yo, they got real cultures over there, and it's different cultures. All of them are not the same.
It's like we got our culture here that everybody wants to be part of. Everybody, what? You tell me one African culture that stands out to a Black American. Running around here with a curtain around you, aka a dashiki, or one of them African robes they be wearing with all them prints on it, and your hair wrapped up. Shit, we was already wearing over here.
Or maybe you like to eat that monkey jerky and wear them down bones in your lip and shit.
Or rats. They eat rats and they eat rats in Africa, motherfucker. I ain't talking none of y'all, but just in general, they eat rats in Africa. Eat rats, bro. Fried rats, man. Bro, you can pull it. They eat rats over there, bro. Like we run around eating chicken wing, they got a rat on a stick, nigga.
Word.
They got a rat. You, bro, somebody pull that up, man. I mean, I ain't, look. Let me see something real quick.
Yeah, man. They set up. If you go there, you look at it. They have a little venues set up. They serving all kind of little food. You might not know what half of it is. Half of it you might, but yo, it's a whole other ballgame.
Yeah, they eat cockroaches and all kind of shit. Like, but listen though, it ain't that, I ain't talking bad about Africa. It's just like, listen, y'all ain't got that much to offer. Y'all ain't growing shit. Y'all got horrible ass shit over there. Like, y'all shit is not right, man. Y'all shit is uncolonized soil. You can't do nothing with it. You see what I'm saying? That shit takes for expert cultivation. Dealing with every little plant that's been grown now. Cause it's a scarce land. That's like a bone land, bro.
See? But I ain't gonna front, though. You got Negroes in the South that eat possum. You got Negroes in the South that eat raccoons. Yep. So I'm not gonna try to be funny or nothing. Like I'm gonna keep it real. Like I'm gonna keep it. I keep it 100, bro. Look. They selling rat on a stick, motherfucker. Shit, bro.
You know somebody in the South eating that though? Rats on the stick. Shit.
Yeah, we ain't got nobody eat rats on the stick. Must do some pops. They ain't got them doing nothing like that now. That's delicate or something. You know what I'm saying?
You screen, y'all? Can you see the screen?
Yeah, man, I see it. Honestly, like I say, I know some people and I respect Africa to the fullest. Like, I'm not against Africa. It's just we try to help people realize that, we've been lied to. Because I got mad love for some of the people in Africa that really want to help us do this. But we just got to keep it real. That right there, it's really kind of sad, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not sad, but because they might just be okay with it. But I wouldn't want my children eating no rat.
Rag, they're smiling. Look at this big ass rat he got. Look at that big ass rat. Look at that big ass rat he got right there. With the women we got, nigga, like me damn, I would love to marry you and pass your rat on a stick. Look at this shit. And listen, like I said, you got possum in a can. They just put possum in the can. Keep it 100. They just keep put possum in the can. I knew a Jamaican dude, I swear to God, bro, who found the dead opossum in the motherfucking street. When we was working for the city, the nigga took the motherfucking opossum and put him inside the salt that they put on the street when it snowed. He put that body inside the salt to dry that shit out, yo. You understand? I'm a chef, so I know. So this is how they salt and dry foods out and dehydrate it through salt. But the motherfucker found a dead opossum that just died, grabbed that motherfucker, put that bitch in fucking salt at work, bro. I said, yo, what y'all do with that motherfucker? They start rubbing his stomach. I said, oh, shit. That's how y'all giving it up? That's how y'all giving it up? That's how y'all, and then one day he was telling me.
Hey,
My
they was
father
saying,
was telling me.
they were saying that, you know, now I'm just gonna be real. Now, it was some people in America that was eating anything too. Now, you know, I ain't even gonna front. We had some tribes that was pretty much just AWOL with the food game, you know what I'm saying? But I think they might have came from them Siberians or something like that. I don't really think we was just that AWOL, because, you know, you can look at the people in Asia, Cambodia, and them places like that, man, they still eating almost everything, like everything from bug to
everything.
I'm talking about everything.
They eat everything is on the menu, bro. Everything. Your toenail might be on the motherfucking menu.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Everything might be on the menu, bro. Everything. They discarding of everything, bro. Look, I'm a chef, and I've been in competitions with Asian people. They eat everything. They eating the motherfucking fish head, the eyes, and everything. The motherfucker passed that shit to me like, dude.
I seen a motherfucker eating bald pig knuckles.
Bro.
Fuck me up.
Yo, let's keep it moving, man. God damn it, though. But y'all see that? That's a prime Google, man. Just showed you a straight up picture of motherfucker brandishing motherfucking rat sticks, man. So bon appetit. Good luck with eating that shit. All right, let's keep it moving, y'all. So all right, so during 1776, they invaded local villages. All right, so it say 1776, American Colonel Andrew Williamson with 18,000 troops and some Catawba scouts marched to northwestern South Carolina, burning Cherokee villages along the way. In September of 1776, American General Griffin Rutherford attacked the Cherokee Middle settlement from North Carolina and destroyed 36 towns along with livestock and cornfield. While Williamson attacked the lower town, his soldiers, let's see. All right. His soldiers, the two generals, then joined forces and spent 2 weeks attacking and destroying the Cherokee Middle settlement. It say while American Colonel William Christian and his 2,000 Virginians and North Carolina militiamen. Now remember, the militia. The word military came from militia. If you put if you put the prefix or RRY on the militia, you got military, okay? Or matter of fact, you might have to put a L somewhere up in there, but it's not too far. It's still the same prefix. Okay, so it's a militiamen invaded the Cherokee over hill towns, destroying the crops, apple trees, houses, and the food supplies. Okay, now this is what they was doing to us and how we became reluctant to be part of their society, because this is what they was doing. We ain't have no fucking choice because they was burning everything that you was eating or what you was using to basically as resources, and then you ain't have no choice. Okay, in 1777, the older Cherokee chief began pushing for peace. Okay, while Dragon Canoe and hundreds of other south and west to establish new villages on the Chickamauga Creek. Shout out to the Chickamauga, y'all. They say the tribe soon became divided on the issue, according to Calloway. Now we already pretty much heard this, but fuck it, for the sake of worshiping the ancestor Dragon Canoe, let's read it. So refuge Cherokee fled. refugee Cherokees fled to the Creek and the Chickasaw and the Pinnacle and to Pensacola. Pensacola is in Florida, y'all. So all right, so remember that Pensacola. If I'm not mistaken, I know they got a Pensacola in Florida. Okay, it say the nation split along generational lines as many younger warriors followed the lead by dragging canoe. Some 500 families seeded to form new communities on the Chickamauga River. Now that's a 500 families. Okay, 500 families. That's not one person in the family. That's at least three or more people in that immediate family. The Chickamauga town became the core of the Cherokee resistance, attracting warriors from other towns and supporting the war efforts of the Shawnee and their northern ally. Other Cherokees suffered as a result of the Chickamauga resistance. Some helped the Americans and the revolution become a Cherokee Civil War. Now let's keep it moving, y'all. Check this out. We ain't get to 1790 yet. So I would assume that these people that they captured in all these wars will be on these census. Hey, listen. The American troops continue to attack the Cherokee towns. In April of 1779, American Colonel Ethan Shelby invaded the Chickamauga Cherokee country, inflicting catastrophic damage, according to Thomas Jefferson, by killing about a half a dozen men, burning 11 towns. 11 towns. Now, how many people was in 11 towns? 20 bushels of corn and taking as many as goods for 25 to taking many I'm sorry, it's taking as many goods as sold for 25 and 1,000 pounds. In the summer of 1779, British agent, now they calling them agents, Alexander Cameron planned to rise a Cherokee force as soon as the crops were harvested. But in the meantime, American Brigadier General Andrew Williamson and the 700 cavalrymen invaded the Cherokee towns. Okay, now the two Cherokee chiefs were sent to negotiate with Williamson, who agreed to share their cornfield in the key over Cameron. If the Cherokee handed over Cameron, it say when they refused, Williamson burned down their towns and cut down their corn. This is what it was doing. In December of 1780, the American Colonel Arthur Campbell burnt down 1,000 homes. 1,000 homes. So just say 3 people lived in each home. That's 3,000 people, okay? Say and 5,000 bushels of corn belonging to the Overhill Cherokee. In 1781, American Lieutenant Colonel John Sevier of North Carolina militia destroyed 15 middle Cherokee towns, and the following fall and summer destroyed the lower Cherokee town, the Cosa River. Cosa, shout out to Cosa. Okay, it say also in 1781, Andrew Pickens, South Carolina militia killed on a raid on a Cherokee settlement. Okay, what do you think they done with the children? Now, if I scroll back up, you will see George Washington saying take as many slaves as possible, no matter how old or what gender, take them as prisoners. So, like I said, we can go right to the census and look for these people. They're not there because they're classified as blacks. Okay? Cherokee price for taking the British side in the war was disastrous, according to Calloway. A Cherokee headman summed up the cost of his people of supporting the British against the madmen of Virginia. I have lost in different engagements 600 warriors. My town have been twice destroyed, and my cornfield lay in by my enemy. All right. So look, these are all sources right here too, y'all. And this is the conclusion of this particular piece right here. But like I said, so if these are all sources, all right. So like I said, don't let a motherfucker tell you that you can't read nothing and learn from something. Look at all these sources of individual work that you can that basically went in part of creating this article in which I just read. Give me 1 second, y'all. Let me go blow my music again.
Word, man. Shout out, man. Chat, keep the vibes high, man. I've been peeping in and out. Everybody building real good. Everybody, if you haven't, thumbs up the video, man. We rolling. We breaking it down. Let's keep it going, man. Salute to everybody.
That's a big fact. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button too. For sure, for sure. But yeah, man, we appreciate y'all coming out, rocking with us. Make sure y'all sharing the video as well. We turned up, man, with early morning. You know what I'm saying? We got y'all some good coffee in the morning. You're welcome. But we're gonna keep the shit rocking for sure.
Hey man, y'all can also subscribe to Aboriginal Power. He did a nice build on the 2020 census. Check that build out. I also still dropping some Atlantis builds. Y'all can check that out, man. You know, we all got our own little angles, but we tying them. So shout out to y'all.
All right, y'all. So where we at? Let me see something real quick. All right. Got some additional shit pulled up here. Let me see something real quick. Let me see. I don't know if I want to go into this first or do I want to do that. All right, let's go here first. Fuck it. Excuse me. Excuse me. We're gonna read a little bit about this real quick right here, right? And a lot of these books right here, like this one is a good one. It says the Westo Indians, slave traders in early colonial South, right? So I'll read a little bit of this. Let me see something. You know what? Nah, I'm gonna read this one first, and then I'm gonna go back to that one because this one is pretty much gonna support what I just read. All right. All right. All right. Let me see something. All right. So let me see. Just give me a second, y'all. All right, hold up. Let me see. Nah, you know what? This ain't even exactly what I'm looking for neither. All right, hold up. Just bear with me, y'all. Is it this one? Let me see. That'd be the disadvantage of having so much stuff pulled up on the screen to where I forgot like what order I was gonna read in, and then I'm looking for certain things that I didn't see the first time. Let's see. I bet. This is it right here, what I was looking for. Bingo. Bingo. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right, boom. So let me see something. Shall I start here? Should I start here? All right, bet. I'm going to start from right here. All right, so it said the first recorded contact between the Cherokee and Europeans was with the Spanish explorer Hernando de Santo. When de Santo landed in Florida in 1539, he brought with him soldiers, chains, and iron collars for the accusation and exploration of Indian slaves. Hundreds of men, women, and children was captured by De Santo and transported from the interior of the coast from the shipment to the Caribbean and to Spain. A Cherokee from Oklahoma remembered his father tell of a Spanish slave trade. It say at an early state, the Spanish engaged in slave trade on the continental, and so doing kidnap hundreds of thousands of Indians from the Atlantic Gulf Coast. You know where the Gulf Coast is at, right? So say from the Atlantic Gulf Coast, it say to work in their mines in the West Indies. Now we stuff that they was taking us from here to the West Indies. We're gonna continue. All right, so the old way of Cherokee society embraced the social and political system rooted in harmony and equality and promoting a common welfare. However, the now Cherokee face a grave threat from Europeans who believe themselves both racial and religiously superior. Racial and religious intolerance were crucial components in the European disposition and enslavement of Native American in colonial period. Originally in the Aristotelian, whatever notion that the natural rights of the 17th century concepts of white supremacy was rooted in the classical tradition of the philosophy of idolatry. They say as opposed to the idol of balance and the reciprocity central of the Cherokee wide view. Europeans posted heresy as the basic nature of humanity and the enslavement of the inferior. As a result of that natural, it say those therefore who are as much inferior to others as are the body and souls of the beast to men are by nature slaves. All right, now I want to keep reading this because this has a lot. So it say he is by nature born slave. Who? Okay, say share in reason to the instinct of apprehending it without possessing. Now look, this is pretty much tell you something. He is born. He's a beast. So basically, this is how they depicted you from the beginning. So this is why when they call you a Negro, they telling you that you was basically in bondage. That term is not a beautiful term. It's not a term no people ever called that. It's basically a subjectual term, or a term meaning that you are property, or you have been conquered, or you are less than someone else. In 1555, there was a disputation of Valladolid, Spain. It say to determine the disposition of people of the New World, wine, and it's a theologian steeped in the tradition of John Major, debated Bartholomew de la Casa. It's an anointed champion of the Indians. It's argued that the superiority of the Spanish to the indigenous people in wisdom, skill, virtue, and humanity. These people are as inferior to the Spanish as the children are to adults, and women to men. There is a great difference between the savagery and the forbearance, between violence and moderation among I'm inclined to say as between monkeys and men. Now they calling us here fucking monkeys, all right? Now listen, right? check this out. Now, at what point in time did they say anything about bringing any Africans here? Because, like I said, man, you got all these people who supposed to be these great scholars, and they lumping all this shit up in one pot and then serving it all to you at one thing. And you think all these so-called ingredients go together when they don't. Okay, when they don't, because we was told that Europeans brought Africans here. But now we're told that Columbus came here and enslaved the people of this land as well as the other Spanish conquerors that came here. How did they know to come here to slave the people of the land? Because when Columbus went back to Spain, Columbus told the people that you could, same thing if you go somewhere and you tell your boy, like, yeah, man, them niggas down there, such and such, whatever. You gonna give them the rundown on what type of shit these people is on. So when he went back, the Portuguese came back and did the same thing as well as other Spanish conquerors. They all came here and did the same. They didn't have to bring no Africans here. And this is the biggest fucking lie that they tell throughout this whole history in the Americas, that all of these so-called Europeans, whether they was Portuguese, Spain, Dutch, English, British, whatever, they all bought slaves here, and that's not the same. We got the English enslaving people in North America. We got the Spanish enslaving people in certain parts of North America, around Louisiana and in Florida or whatever. And you got the French enslaving people here. What time did they have to bring Africans here? And why would you bring Africans here if you can enslave the people of the fucking land and get them to do what you want them to do? Oh, because they killed all these people off, so they had to go bring people here who these motherfuckers didn't catch no diseases. They was strong. They was able to. They just got off a boat where they was laying next to each other and got all this biological probably diseases and all type of viruses on that ship. It's damp. It's all types of shit going on. So they got right off the boat, was able to work. They didn't catch none of the European diseases. Who the fuck are y'all kidding, y'all? Who are you kidding? Who you kidding? So the Spanish killed 8 million people on the island of Espanol, and they wiped out the whole population of people, and they had to bring Africans in? Come on, y'all. Listen. Like I said, the Tariq Nasheeds of the world, the Vet Cornells of the world, and the Tone Talks, and all these motherfuckers who think that the only story you're being told is about African slavery, because after the 1800s, they came up with a story to tell all people of melanated hue or Moorish descent or indigenous descent or black or whatever you want to say that basically describes us as a people who got commonality or a race of people. They basically said, well, we're going to contain them in this continent that we're going to call Africa. We're not going to tell them that none of these people was in Europe, that they was in fucking Russia, all these pyramids that went around the world. We're not going to tell none of these people that none of these people belong to none of these people. We're not going to say none of this stuff. We just going to say that all these people came from this one continent. This continent right here produces people who look like this. This continent produces people who look like Asians. This continent produces people who look like this. And this is a story that they went on. They went on a full-fledged, how I want to say, cover up to tell you that it was Negroes on all these continents. Until now, you see the Senegalese people who don't want no Europeans coming in and willing to kill them people in any sight. If they even see a boat coming, they gonna start firing off on them or whatever. You telling me that, oh, these people left Africa at some point in time too? We just established the fact that people are not going to just get up and migrate for no fucking reason. And if there's still people left there. So when do the migration stop? So you got the people from Senegalese who live all the way near the Pacific, near India. They left Africa just to go there. Get the fuck out of here. Stop fucking, like, yo, like I said, the gig is up, yo. The gig is up and it starts with us here, all right? So, excuse me, y'all. I gotta blow my nose again, y'all. Hold on for a second. All right, so I'm back. All right, so we started, we ended right here. So it say they, the Indians, are not ignorant, inhumane, or bestial. I don't know how to pronounce that. It say rather long before they have heard the word Spaniard, they have properly organized states wisely or ordered by excellent law, religion, and customs. They cultivated friendships and bonds together in common friendship, live in a populous cities in which they wisely administered the affairs of both peace and war justly and equitably, truly governed by laws that at very many points surpass ours. Okay, now check this out. We'll continue on reading through this. All right. All right. It say when the dispute, the disputation was over. Lacosta had won the day. They say, however, the moral argument of Lacosta was soon swept aside by a European continent facing a vast world of countless treasure inhabited by people who could themselves become a commodity in the open market. It say what was originally the legend of the Spanish intronicism, whatever. It's saying genocide quickly became common practice as European practice, economics and religious competition fled. Now listen, economics and religious competition fueled colonial expansion. It's a through initial shock by Sir John Hawkins. Here this motherfucker go again. Now remember him, y'all. All right. Now look, it say the first slavery venture in 1562, 1563. Now here they're going to throw something up in here, but I got another trick for y'all. I'm gonna put y'all on something. I'm gonna put y'all on what I think what really happened. All right. So it say quickly Elizabeth quickly changed her mind. Not only did she forgive him, but she became a shareholder in the second slaving voyage. It say by the middle of the 17th century, the traffic in slaves from Europe, Africa, and the Americas had became a mainstay of the colonial economic enterprise. Now look, it say the traffic in slaves from Europe, Africa, and America had become of the colonial economics enterprise. Behind the mercantile enterprise was a moral sanction of a persuasion ideology of conquest and colonialism. The law of moral obligation sanctioned behavior on only one side of that chasm. The Christian Caucasians of Europe are not only holy and white, but also civilized. It say while the pigmented heathens, look, listen to this. The pigmented heathens, okay, of distant land are not ideology and dark, but savage, okay? What the fuck do that just tell you? Okay, the pigmented heathens, okay? They're talking about people here in the Americas too. Okay, say thus, absolute or predator or prey have been preserved, and grandeur of invasions and massacre has kept the Cingenarian radix. I guess that's how you pronounce that. All right. The birth of a nation, y'all. Let's continue on. Here we go. Hold up for a second. I say, while founding Charleston in April 1670, the colony entered into a commercial slave exchange in a matter that was to establish the city as the center of the slave trade for 2 centuries. It say for the next 100 years, the Carolinians cited Indian savagery. It say and depredations and justification for Indian wars against the Seminole and Tuscarora. The Westos, and finally the Cherokees and the Mizcoke. I guess that's how you pronounce that shit. Mizcoke. I guess that's a U. The Mizcoke. The term Indian War was quite simply rhetorical exercise of covering not only the seizure of North American lands and wealth, but also the enslavement of the indigenous people of America. Okay. Okay, so if they enslaved the indigenous people of the Americas, let's go ahead. Let's go. Let's stop the bullshit, okay? But like I said, this is my friend right here. And this is, like I said, I mean, you can flip it and bounce it how the fuck you want to flip and bounce this shit. But I know for sure of what my interpretations of what the fuck I see. Okay? So if you motherfuckers are still at this point in time, you can't. Oh, we just passed. Hold on. We just passed Carolina. Hold up. Oklahoma, look. That's why you don't see nothing in Oklahoma till after 1800s. There you go right here, y'all. Look. So look, this is Carolina, okay? This is the whole state. Look. I'm gonna make it small so you can see it. All right, we're gonna rock right there. So look, North Carolina, race and Hispanic origins, total population, white, black. 1790, we got total population in 1790, 393,751. And we got total whites, 280,204 whites, 105,547 so-called blacks, right? Now look, 1790. Look, this is the Indian column right here. You see this? Indian column, 1790. Now we just read off of 1780 where these people was warming into around this time. None of these people are listed on this motherfucking on this census. So where the fuck are they? Oh, I know where they at. They right here.
That's right.
Right here. They classified as black. Now look. We got free. Now, if you come to the side over here, we got total 1790. We got, hold up, how in 1790 you got 4,975 free blacks? And then you got out of that 100,572 of them are slaves. How is that possible? If you brought Africans here, how did Africans get away from you and become free? Oh, because these motherfuckers right here are the motherfuckers who were selling us out. And it's the only way you can look at it. Because once you hear the story, they wanted the land. Oh, who did they side with? Is they sided with the British or they sided with the Americans? And after that war was over, once they established in the United States, now it was just strictly, if you not siding with us, if you not giving up your land, then you are our enemy directly. So even after the Revolutionary War, it's still all the shit applied prior to that. Okay? So, like I said, you showed me. We're in North Carolina. This is 1790. It's coming off of, just read this 1770. 26 had wars with these people. Look, you tell me if I'm reaching or not. I'm not reaching. This is common. This is how you do evidence. This is common fucking sense. Look. See this? 1780. This is 10 years. This is 10 years before they made any fucking any census. Now also, what was I at? I was over here. Let me see something. I think I was right here. No, I wasn't. Hold on. Let me make sure. Where the fuck was I at? I think I was right here. Hold on. Let me go back here real quick. No, that's not it. Let me see. It's right here. Let me make sure. Sorry, y'all. Like I said, I got thrown off. I don't know where the fuck I was at.
Oh nah, you was building on it good, man. That was strong, man. They needed to see them numbers along with the breakdown. You know how they saying, like you said, 1790, man. You got to look at that. You know what I'm saying? It's getting more clear to me. I mean, I think the people in the chat see. You know what I'm saying? So just keep rocking it. How you doing, big bro?
It's
Pop
this one right here. It's this right here. Slavery in the Cherokee Nations. The Catawba Society, okay? So this is the book right here, Slavery in Cherokee Nations, okay? So now right here, like I said, the term Indian War was quite simply radical exercise to cover not only the seizure of North Native American lands and wealth, but also the enslavement of indigenous people. Sorry, y'all, at noon this bell go off right here. I don't know what the hell they do this shit for. Now check this out. Indigenous people throughout the Southeast were played one against another in an orgy of slave dealing, and hold up, shit, my hand, man. Hold on 1 second. Wait till this fucking noise go on.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. They got that ringing all through town like that.
Yup. They do it too, like when it's a snowstorm and it's no school.
That's the shit they play when it's martial law or some shit. Like,
Well, I hope there ain't no martial law. I'm coming down there where you at.
Come.
Coming down there where you at and shit.
hey, you already know. You ain't gonna like the mountains, A1.
Man, listen, bro. Like I said, man, I'm like it is what it is, man. But you see, we just went to Carolina. We just showed you all this evidence. And where are these Indian slaves? Like you can read stuff for years, and they're gonna be telling you that they enslaved thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions of these people. But these people are not listed nowhere. Yeah, this shit's starting to get fucking annoying now. I don't even know why the fuck they do this shit on the weekend.
Right.
Stupid ass motherfucker, man.
That's crazy.
Hold up. They do this shit every fucking Saturday, yo. And I'll be sitting here like, why? It's no school anywhere on Saturday. Why the fuck would you ring that stupid ass bell? I live at right behind me. It's fucking police department right behind me. So that shit is coming from City Hall over there. All right, so look, let's get back with this. All right. So indigenous people throughout the Southeast. Now listen to this, y'all. Listen to, matter of fact, let's see something. How many people we got rocking today, man? Let's see. Should take it forever to reload. with y'all. Okay, we got 138 people rocking with us. Please hit the like button. Also, it's been a great time. If you'd like to send donations, go to my PayPal account as well as my Cash App. Send donations for the documentary called Culture Freedom, Hidden Cultures of America, Black Indians. This shit is going to be dope. It's going to be FUBU. It's going to be for you, by you. You understand? So, I mean, like I say, this shit is going to be something dope. Please participate if you have the reach to provide. Keep watching the videos and just teach your family. Okay, let's get back to where we was at. We was right here. All right. This paragraph here tells everything, okay? In these two paragraphs right here, it tells you everything, all right? The term Indian War was quite simply, it said, exercise to cover not only the seizure of Native American land, it say, and wealth, but also the enslavement of the indigenous people of America. Indigenous people throughout the Southeast. That's where we're from. That's where your family is from. Your family, most of them, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, Florida. All of your people is in the Southeast, if not some of us in the Northeast, in New York or Massachusetts or even Canada or whatever. This is where most of our people is at. During the later half of the 17th century, now listen to this, y'all. During the later half of the 17th century, Carolina was more active than any other colony in the exportation of Indian slaves. The Indian slave trade in North Carolina, with Charleston at the center, rapidly took on all of the characteristics of the African slave trade. Okay? Ain't nobody giving this shit up to y'all like this. Ain't nobody sitting up here fucking reading, giving this shit up to y'all like this. I just gave y'all the fucking truth in this one paragraph right here. Let's read this one more time. During the later half of the 17th century, Carolina was more active than any other colony in the exportation of Indian slaves. The Indian slave trade in Carolina and Charleston at its center rapidly on and all the characteristics of the African slave trade. So when the fuck was the African slave trade if this was in the mid 1700s?
Facts. Man, I don't know, man. Yo,
bro, hold up, but we ain't just got that. We got this too. We got this right. We're looking at North Carolina right here, and it's telling you that in Carolina and Charleston alone, they saying that it took on what we believe that the African slave trade was. It was everything that the Indian slave trade. But guess what? How was they doing this? How was they doing this parallel at the same motherfucking time, and they got none of these people listed on here? Now, if you don't fucking believe at this point in time, go put your finger in your ass and put your finger in the thumb and stand in the fucking corner and get the fuck away from us.
Right, cause that right there alone is a fucking dagger. That's your
it's
point
over,
blank.
man.
Period. Game over, bro.
It's over, man.
Hashtag it.
All that shit, dog. Straight up.
Bro, I don't even need to go no further. I don't even need to go no further, bro. Because hold on, let's one more time for the people who
Mike, man, hit him A1. Fuck this, man.
Take your motherfucking helmets off, y'all. Take your helmets off. We're going to read this one more time, okay? The term Indian War was quite simply an exercise to cover not only the seizure of Native American lands and wealth, but also the enslavement of the indigenous people of the Americas. Indigenous people throughout the Southeast, where your fucking family is from, played one against another in an orgy, meaning an orgy means a bunch of people. It don't mean no sexual shit. It means a bunch of people come together, right? It's a of slave dealing that decimated entire people during the later half. They mean decimated. That means that you lost your culture. Don't mean that you was white and you lost your culture and now you are black. You have no culture because you are lumped up with a bunch of other Indians who now, or you might have a Cherokee, a Chickasaw, Choctaw, Seminole, a bunch of them who now they classifying them as black after these motherfucking wars. Now listen, during the later half of the 17th century, when did they say they brought Africans in? Hold on. When did they say they? Oh, 1719. They brought Africans in. So they brought Africans here. Why are they telling you that the Indian slave trade in Carolina was bigger than the African slave trade? Why are they telling you that? Because Carolina is Virginia. So if they came in Virginia, they brought Africans in Virginia, why the fuck is they enslaving more Indians in fucking Carolina than they did fucking Africa? And most of our family is from that region. Do you see any Indians in there? Oh, but you see all the Africans, right? You see all the people that basically been classified as African. But when you go down there and ask these same people who classified as Africans, do they got Indians? They all raise their hands saying, yeah. Oh, like I said, man, you motherfuckers, man. Let's keep it moving, y'all. Let me read some more through this shit, y'all. It says, the Indian slave trade in the Carolinas, with Charleston at its center, rapidly took on the characteristics of the African slave trade. So in the mid 1700s, if it took on, mid means middle, why are they capturing all these so-called Indians? Oh, you know why? Because it all connected. Remember I was reading this? And it was telling you all of the 1700s? Look. Remember I was reading all of this shit right here. I read this whole page just to fucking prove to y'all something. 1770 in the mid 1700s in Carolina because of the Revolutionary War. That's
right.
Why.
That's right.
Why. Now where all these captures go because they're not on the census. Let me blow it up for y'all. Let me one more time. If you happen to have your helmet on, please take your helmet off. Okay? Take your helmet, guys, and try to use your brain. If you are a Black American or African American that's listening to this who is confused, then listen, I'm going to get a proper understanding out of you because I just read numerous literature that they was warring with these numerous tribes who sided with the British, which the Chickamauga, the Cherokee, the Creek, a lot of these tribes did. They sided with the British, meaning that the so-called white settlers became their enemies. Now, I just read here. Now, look, total population 1790, white and black. There's 105,000 people, 105,547 so-called people in Carolina in 1790 that's classified as fucking black. Okay? Now, right next to this, 1790. Is any Indians here? Not available. So why is it not available when you saying that you was enslaving them? When they saying about the mid 1700s that all the people in Carolina, it was more Indian slaves in Carolina than it was African. So where the fuck is they at? So where is they at? Where they at? Where they at?
Yo, if you can't really get it, just write it down if you have to, because I mean, that's plain and simple pretty much, man. We right here, y'all. And, you know, if you can't prove that you really are African by tying in your actual self and your genealogy, taking your butt over there and getting connected with them people in the culture, I mean, you should be trying to stand for something anyway, until you can prove that. So why would you? I mean, this right here is enough said, man. And if you've been, I don't know, but maybe y'all, for the people that's been watching some of the A1 videos, we already know what's up anyway. You see what I'm saying? We already know what's up anyway. So this is just, I mean, come on, man. Oh, I don't know, bro. I mean, I'm all the way in, straight up. You know, my eyes is wide open, and this shit pissed me off, but at the same time, I'm glad because we bringing it to the front, man. And you know, this is a good source, man. You know, straight up, man. You know, this is what you can share with the family, and it's gonna make sense. The older people really know, they know this information. They just don't have it in plain sight like that. You know what I'm saying? Some of these elders really already know some of this stuff, man. Especially the ones that was dealing with the wars and stuff like that, who was in wars. You talk to these people who's in the military that really paid attention or whatever, they might can let you know something, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. Like I said, yo, ain't too many people giving this shit up like this. And like I said, I show you. I stick with the research that I do. I know some of it's repetitive. I know I've showed this census chart all this fucking time. But check this out. Also remember this. Remember this. I ain't forget about this. Let me show you something else. Look, Journals of Negro Slave. Right now, check this out. It's just to let y'all know. Look, free Negro owners of slaves, which I got a video about. Let's go to North Carolina. Go to North Carolina. Let me see something real quick. That's the District of Columbia. So this is in Washington. Look at all these Negroes that own slaves in Washington alone. All right, well, hold on. Let's get to let's get to the Carolinas. Well, it's Georgia. Look how many blacks own slaves in Georgia. Now, where do you think these so-called people got? Look, it say colored. Look, it say colored. Look, you see this? Where do you think all these so-called Negroes got the power from whitey to own slaves? If the white man hated black people and black people was the enemy of all of them, how did you get blacks that own slaves in the fucking South? Now check this out. And this is in 1800s. Now this is before the Trail of Tears. Okay, now check this out. This shows you the census. And all you niggas running around. DOS's. You're a descendant of what slave? What slave are you a descendant of? Monty. No. Wait till you get done. Just go sit there. I'm sorry, my daughter trying to cook. Let's leave. When I call you, come in there and just start it, okay? All right, my bad, y'all. So this is Kentucky. Let's keep it moving. I was gonna get to North Carolina. I just want to show y'all something. So that's all you gotta see, man. That these people, this shit is a cover up. It's not just the fact that they know goddamn well that the majority of us is fucking Indians and they calling you African. They voluntarily call you Africans. And you voluntarily take on that word. You volunteer yourself to become a fucking African. Yo, goddamn, Louisiana was long. Louisiana probably had the most black Negro slave owners. Goddamn, look. How did Louisiana have the most Negro slave owners? Look, Louisiana's still going. Look. Let me show y'all something else. Look, you see this? Slaves. This one family right here had 10 slaves. You see this? You see this shit right here? 10 slaves. Oh my God, bro. This shit, like I said, man. Let me see something. Let me see. Is that still Louisiana? Still Louisiana. Look. Look at all these Negro slave owners in Louisiana, bro. Look. Still going. 57. This is the third fucking page. Well, actually, it's the fifth page. Look at all these Negro slave owners that own slaves in Louisiana, y'all. It's the 1800s, y'all. Look. All right, so now we got Maine and Maryland. All right, so North Carolina's coming up. Remember, Maryland is part of Virginia, so don't let the words fool you. Maryland's still going. Look, still got all these Negro slave owners. Why are these Negroes owning slaves? Was they friends of the motherfucking Americans? Did they side the war with the American? Because you know what? I'm tired of hearing motherfuckers always talk about family wasn't slaves and no. If your family was not, and like I said, come holler at me. Because the last time I said something like this, niggas try to check me on it. Okay, but now you gotta start asking yourself if your family still got a lot of your culture left and still got a lot of historical documents. There's only two things: either your people surrendered to the Europeans and decided to work for them, or your people sided with them and captured slaves and did all of the other shit that they was doing. It's either or. Don't come at me with none of, oh yeah, my family, we was the biggest and baddest people to where the Europeans seen us. And he was like, you know what? I ain't fucking with them Negroes, but let's go fuck with all the rest of the Negroes, but we're not gonna fuck with them Negroes right there. Them Negroes is crazy. We're not fucking with them. They would have fucking decimated your fucking family too, yo. Same fucking thing. We all would have died. And I'm not sitting up here saying you ain't had no Negroes who wasn't tough or wasn't thorough and none of that shit, but you got to look at the mission statement. The mission statement today, we're still colonized today. How did that? Okay?
You got to consider that because, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, I know my people said we fought, but hell, we definitely didn't win, goddamn. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what though? It's okay to say you lost, man.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Look at the situation we're in now. We ain't win. If we won, we wouldn't be sitting up here trying to find out who the fuck we are. You understand what I'm saying? If we did not win, look, this shit's still on Maryland, man. God damn, look. God. Let me see this shit. All right, so you got Missouri, New Hampshire. Hold up. You know what? Oh, nah, it's going to go down. Hold up. New York. Look, here we go. North Carolina, y'all. Look. Now, look. Look, North Carolina. Look, check this out. North Carolina again, another page. Look, this nigga right here, John Choctaw, owned 24 fucking slaves, and was only one person out. So these might have been family members. These might have been family members right here. Person. The total family is 25, and he owned 24 different slaves, right? Now remember, what did they tell you about so-called George Washington's wife? They said George Washington's wife, at her will, she's all her slave because George Washington's wife was fucking a Negro. That's why she released all of her fucking slaves. And these stupid niggas laughing like, they was gonna overrun her. That's why. No, they was family members. That's why. They fucking family members. That's why. That's why. Look, nigga owned 44. Look, John Walker, 44 slaves, and it's only one person. So that's just him. So it's just him and the 44 slaves because them was families. That was their family. That was his family. That was his family. And he probably took some people in as a result of that. We still on North Carolina, y'all. Look. All right, now we're in Ohio, though. But check this out, though. Look, check this out. So how many of these people do you think are Indians? Because this is when the shit start getting foggy. How many of these people you think these Negroes, so the Negroes just own African and they don't know Indian slaves? Really? All these Indians that these Negroes, all these Negroes are well, all the slaves that the Negroes owned was all Negro slaves. But we seeing that they was enslaving people. We just read right here. Let's go back to the fucking Summer Jam screen. What did it say? Okay, what is they giving you? They're telling you that during the later half of the 17th century, Carolina was more active than any other colony in exploitation of Indian slaves. The Indian slave market was in the Carolina with Charleston as its center. What do they always tell you? Juneteenth. All this other shit about Charlotte. So, yo, the gig is up, y'all. Holla at me. The gig is up. We can take this shit right. We can take this shit to the Supreme Court, man. The gig is up. It been up. It been up like 10 videos ago.
Facts.
It been up. The shit is up. What the fuck is you waiting for? What the fuck do you need to know? You running around here with these weirdo ass aborigines and shit, man, forming these coalitions and shit. You know what I'm saying? Man, listen, you better get with the real motherfuckers, yo. Get with the real motherfuckers. Cause this right here tell motherfuckers is not telling you this. They're not telling you, because when we think of Charleston and we think of North Carolina, we think of Africans.
That's a fact, bro.
I can't even go. I don't even want to read no more. I don't listen. Now check now. Watch how they lie. Look. Watch how they implement this. They done gave us the truth. Now they're gonna try to program us to cover up the truth. All right. So it said the Carolinas form alliances with coastal native groups, armed them. Listen, Carolina formed alliances with coastal native groups, armed them, and encouraged them to make war on weaker tribes deeper in the Carolina interior. It say by the late years of 17th century, it say the caravan of Indian slaves made their way from the Carolina backcountry to fort on the coast, just as the caravan of African slaves were doing on the African continent. This is bullshit. It say the trade in the Indian slave became an essential element of Carolina economics. Once Charleston and the captives were loaded on the ships. Listen to this. Look, listen to this. Listen. It says, once in Charleston, the captives was loaded on the ships for the Middle Passage. Hold up. So the Indians was going through the Middle Passage. Hold up. Look, the West Indies and other colonies such as New Amsterdam or New England, many of Indian slaves were kept at home and worked on plantations in the South Carolina. By 1708, the number of Indian slaves in Carolina was nearly half that of the Africans. Yo. Hey, yo. Listen. Everything he just told us, he's backstepping now, right? Because he said by the mid 1700s, the slavery in the Carolinas would surpass any of the African. They telling you by 1708, the number of Indian slaves in Carolina was nearly half of that of African. What the? Where they at? Okay, where the fuck is they at? Okay, where they at? Where they at? Where they at? That alone right there tells you a fucking Indian, you dummies. And you got Tariq Nasheed and Yvette Carnell and run around. Oh, we was African slaves. Oh, we was African slaves. Listen, pick a fucking book up and learn something, and stop fucking following these fake ass Black Pan-Africans that basically tell you what the fuck they want to tell you. Okay? I'm gonna need some more of this shit. Where they at? They said, in 1708, in North Carolina, half of the fucking slaves, where are they at? Because I see black slaves here. I see 100. So look, So let's deal with statistics since this is what we're doing. So in 1790, right? In 1790, we ain't got no census for 1708. But let's jump past. This is almost 80 years. This is 82 years after 1708. What they just gave. They said in 1708, half of the fucking slaves were supposed to be Indian, half of slaves was African. Then they tell you by the mid 1700s, the slave trade in the Carolinas was worse than the African slaves. So now I would assume that the Indian slaves had to outnumber them probably like whatever. Like we don't and remember, the only reason they're calling them Africans to cover up the fact that they was calling them Negroes. That's it. That's it. Everywhere they put Negro. See, you could be black and be an Indian, but if you was a Negro and an Indian, then you would be classified as an African. You understand what I'm saying? See, so the Indians that was sent here, because remember, the English don't use the word Negro. So that when the English was sending people out to the Caribbean, they was coming back as Negroes. And now when we see this in history, we look at these people as the African. So the Indian that was here that looked just like him, oh, he's not classified as an African because he didn't go through them. He didn't go through the West Indies and come back as a Negro. Do you get that? Get that? Plain and fucking simple, y'all. Let me conclude this, man.
Yeah, the only way that, you know what I mean, that if you can't get it, we can write it down in crayon for you.
Bro, these motherfuckers ain't never getting it, bro. We just read. Man, listen, bro. Let me just go ahead because I'm pissed off my motherfucker. This shit is in plain sight, and motherfuckers is still sitting there playing games with each other, man. Hold on for 1 second, yo. Hey, one of y'all build real quick, man. Let me go take this shit out this oven for my daughter.
Oh man, if you've been hanging tight, like I say, it should really be pretty smooth for you to understand what we've been saying, because there's been plenty of documentation that's been shown, sources. We went over the count numerous of times already. You know what I'm saying? So, give big ups to yourselves, man, like for hanging in there, and like, this is stuff we can really utilize as information when we put it together. That's why I say write it down if you have to. You know what I'm saying? It should be, everybody should be on pretty much one accord with this, on how this going down, and it's obvious we did have some of our own people betraying us, and this is what we getting down to, and that's what they don't want us to get down to. So, hey, you want to go rock us out, man?
No doubt. Let's do it. All right, so these Indian wars took their toll on the indigenous people of the Carolinas. In 3 years of slaving operations against the Westo Indians, all but 50 of the Westos were reduced to slavery or killed. The English and the Indian allies reached far out into the Spanish Empire and in the South. It say some 10,000 to 12,000 Timucua and Gullah and Apaches were taken to Charleston and sold into slavery. So where the fuck are these people at? Why you running around here? I'm an African. I'm an African. Listen, when Savannah grew sick of their merchandise of dissolve their trading partners with the English, South Carolina Governor John Arch the necessities of thinning the barbarous Indian nations, and therefore, since cruelty is not an instrument thereof, it pleases God to send, as I may say, an Assyrian angel to do it himself. By 1710, the Savannah has gone the way of Westies. The Tuscarora Indians up. Now I'm thinking that the word Carolina came from Tuscarora. I'm sorry, because the word that they telling you where the word Carolina came from, it doesn't make no fucking sense. I'm looking at Tuscarora, Lenny, Carolina, Tuscarora. They said Carolina came from somebody named Charles or Carlos or something like that. All right, so the Tuscarora Indians of North Carolina rebelled against being driven from their land. Listen to this. Listen. Rally up. Listen. When the Tuscarora Indians of North Carolina rebelled against being driven from their land, they was attacked by a force of 30 English settlers and 500 Yamasee warriors, led by Colonel 500 Yamasee warriors.
Okay.
Led by Colonel John Barnwell. Barnwell, you fucking devil. They even after King Hancock. Hold up. King Hancock of Tuscarora signed the treaty. What do you mean, King Hancock? What's going on here?
Right. What is that about?
What do you mean, King Hancock of Tuscarora? We know John Hanson, King Hancock. Hold up. What the fuck is going on?
Right. That's
build
crazy.
on that real quick. Let me go take this out the circle. Go build on that real quick, though. You can see this right here, right, Jack?
Yeah.
Shit, it's crazy, man. Hold on 1 second, man.
So once again, it says when the Tuscarora Indians of North Carolina rebelled against being driven from their land, they were attacked by a force of 30 English settlers and 500 Yamasee warriors, led by Colonel John Barnwell. Even after King Hancock of the Tuscarora signed a treaty, Barnwell continued to enslave the Tuscarora. The Tuscarora considered this a breach of the treaty and reinitiated the war in 1713. And then it goes to say another group of settlers and 1,000 Indian allies, including 200 Cherokee, led by Colonel James Moore, routed the Tuscarora. But I don't even want to get too far because King Hancock, it's got to be some type of alias name of whoever the real so-called chief or whoever is, man. That don't make sense right there to me. But we could probably try to dig on that sometime sooner or later. But to me, that's a throw off. But we do see and witness here that we got accounts of our people allying with, these foreigners and forcing our people, some of our people, to give up their lands. I'm gonna read a little bit more. It says, those who survived the battle were sold into slavery to finance the campaign. Now that's crazy.
Bro, listen, check this out. We going deep into this shit.
Did you just hear that?
Huh?
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead and start when you left off that, man.
No. Go ahead. Summarize what you about to say. Go ahead. Because I already see it, but go ahead. I want to hear from you.
Come on, man. It says those who survived the battle were sold into slavery to finance the campaign. Okay. Then it says in 1715, the Yamasee rebelled against the English after they had begun to seize Yamasee women and children for the slave market and payment of trade debts that the Indians had assumed.
Well, my bad. Go ahead. I'm just moving it down. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you go ahead. You gonna rock some out? We'll rock it out.
This it's kind of tricky, man. Like how he putting all this, man. It's not like
they putting it in plain sight.
Right.
Those who survived the battle. Now listen, you got those who survived. So now first of all, what is they giving us? They're telling you that in 1708, half of the people who were slaves, man, like I said, the gig is up, yo. The gig is up. They 1708, half of the slaves that was in Carolina was motherfucking Indians
Mm.
and half of them was African. Now we don't know they African. We only think that because they claim Negro, because they weren't calling nobody Africans at that point in time. But let's go further with it, right? They come up and tell you by the mid 1700s, the fucking Indians outnumber any Africans being brought to Carolina. So when did this shit stop? So if the mid 1700s going into the 1800s, almost let's say 2/3 of them was fucking Indians and 1/3 was an African. They stopped the importation of African in 1708. Why don't you see any of these people on the motherfucking census? This is after the United States formed. So all of these states that's part of the United States are all part and pro-cell to each other. They're not separate.
That's right.
So where they at? Where they at? You got total population, white, black. You don't have no Indian, you have no other racial ethnicities on this census until 1860. And now you see 1100. So where the fuck did these motherfuckers come from? Where the fuck did these 1100 people just come from? Almost fucking almost. This is look. You figure like this, Jack. In 1708 and 1860, they telling you in 1708 they had Indian slaves, right? This is 150 years after you said in 1708, and we start seeing Indians. So what happened to the Indians that was enslaved in 1708? Where they at? Oh, they right here. They're classified as black.
That's right.
If anybody on a slow bus, if you want me to stop and pull the motherfucker over and you can walk through this desert, go ahead. But at this point in time, we are prisoners of motherfucking war. until you establish whether or not you was on the American side or you was on the, because it was either or. If you was a bougie nigga and you had land and all this shit, I'm assuming that you sided with the Americans. You had to. Now let's go back to this. Let's go back to this because I'm quite sure, Jack. Let's go finish it off, man. Because I'm actually.
Because like you said, it has to be when you under the prisoner of war, they're not gonna let you identify as who you really are. You know what I'm saying? And that's why it gotta be showing not Africa, because they didn't want you to apply that.
I should say King Hancock.
That's what we gotta do. What the fuck is that, man? What is that?
Bro, that's what I'm trying to say. King Hancock. Somebody in the chat room, y'all know something? Like for real, this is our history. Listen, this is not no entertainment. I don't come up here to play in my ass, or this is not entertainment. This is so you motherfuckers will know who the fuck y'all are. I'm not coming out saying, oh, well, yeah, I'm an Indian. I'm the only Indian here. Or you have to really research. No, 100% of us that's classified as Africans are fucking Indians. 100%. 100% of us. 100%.
Facts, man.
100%. 100%. Let me read some more of it. In 1715, the Yamasee rebelled against the English after they had begun to seize Yamasee women and children for the slave market in payment for the trade debt that the Indians had assumed. So they was taking their people to pay off a debt. Now check this shit out. They still to the day, they lock your ass up for a fucking debt. It's the William Andrews, missionary for the Society for the Propagation of Gospel, reported to his superior that the English were abusing the Indians with drinks and then cleat them in trading with them and stealing even their children away and carrying off to other places and sell them slaves. Governor Charles even organized the South Carolina militia against the Yamasee. So you had governors that was doing this. Listen, like I said, y'all, if you don't believe by now who the fuck you are, then I don't know what the fuck to tell you. You APWs, if anything. Okay? And you're not Africans. You're not Africans. Because most of us, like I said, that whole 1719 story is a freaking lie. We already debunked that. We know that the people who came in 1619, either on the Massachusetts side or on the motherfucking Virginia side was people who was captured from a Spanish vessel. The Spanish was what part don't you kind of fucking understand? The Spanish was enslaving us from the time they got here. That's why I just read what I read. Now, the English was warring with the Spaniards. Okay, they was warring with them. So the English captured that vessel and brought that vessel back to Virginia, which this is nothing but John Hawkins and Sir Walter, not Sir Walter Raleigh, Sir Francis Drake or whatever. And what they was doing was they brought these motherfuckers back to Virginia, man. So let's keep it moving. So all right, so many of the Yamasees and the Creeks. Let's say all right, so many of the Yamasees and the Creeks were against the war all along. But our military men bent upon revenge, and so disaster, I guess that's how you pronounce it, to enrich themselves by making all the Indian slaves that fell into their hands.
Okay.
So man, hold up. So where was the need for Africans?
Right. That don't know nothing about the land or nothing. Don't know where to go or nothing. Like what the
Oh my God, let me bookmark this, bro, before I lose it.
I mean, seriously, man. Like, and then like, come on, man. We was all like you said, the Portuguese was warring with the English. And they didn't speak of having no Africans on their vessels.
But hold up, Jack. This shit is about to get worse. Listen to this. The Yamasee almost exterminated. What survivors they were fled to Florida to live amongst the Spanish missionary. Now, who do you think Yamasee became? The Seminoles. But yet they want to tell the Seminoles was runaway African slaves. They just told you in Carolina all of the fucking slaves was Indian. You see how they keep feeding you the same lie? They keep feeding you the same lie and we fall for it. And we fucking fall for it all the fucking time. You are the motherfucking Indian, the original Indian of the Southeast. Don't let no Tariq Nasheed, don't let no Yvette Carnell, don't let none of these so-called educated fucking fake scholars fucking lie to you and keep the propaganda going or trying to deport us or tell us we fucking Africans, okay? Now let's keep it moving. We are fucking real Americans, bro. The only Americans.
The only Americans.
The only American. Soon even, listen to this. Soon even, the Cherokee will become an object of the slave trade. As early as 1681, a permit was issued for the export of slave from Charleston. By 1693, the situation had become so bad that the Cherokee sent a tribal delegate to the royal governor of South Carolina to ask for protection from the Congress of the Catawba and the Savannah slave catchers. By 1705, the Cherokee accused the colonial government of grand commissions to slave catchers. So if they was bringing all these Africans here, why was they capturing you?
Right.
They didn't need you. The only thing that they should be telling you is that they killed your ass. If it was other Indians here, they brought Africans here, they know that the Indians was war against them, then they should have just exterminated them. Not captured them and kept them as POWs. But then all in the same sense, tell them, we brought Africans here to help build. No, I just told you. In this little 1-2 pages right here, you could pretty much sum it up and claim that you're an Indian. Excuse me.
That's right.
Hold me down for a bit.
Great, man. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, come on, man. We already knew about the government hiring some of these tribes to help catch people. We've been discussed that. Man, you went on that for about weeks. You know, some of these topics, you know, that's why I say everybody should be caught up by now, man. You know, as far as that. But, yo, people been saying that the Cherokee has something to do with it. People been saying that the Yamasee has something to do with it. You know what I'm saying? It's just some simple evidence, even though the man is slurring in some words. Like, to me, slavery is just really capturing. It wasn't slavery. It was just capturing people. You know what I'm saying? Just straight up just capturing. So, that's how I look at it. I don't even see slave anymore because we know, you know, I know my family ain't gonna let nobody enslave us, not to be working up under them after you done tried to kill me and shit. Hell no. You have to, if you done killed my children or laid down my wife or something, I'm definitely gonna fight to the end. You think I'm finna sit here and let you do that and I'm gonna work for you? Or you think I'm just gonna really stay up under you? Like, come on, man, they was capturing people. Period.
So now, Jack, listen. So now, if you were to present this in front of a room of so-called African Americans, they will catch on immediately because they're not told nothing about this shit.
Right.
They be like, hold up, hold up. So when did they bring the Africans here? Anybody with any common sense will have a bunch of questions after hearing this. This is why Sarnetta don't want nigga like us on his fucking platform. Because anybody who's fucking listening to this shit is gonna say, well, hold up. We was told in Carolina they brought Africans here. Now you telling me that half of the slave, hold up. So the slave, this is why my grandmother said I was an Indian. Oh shit, we are Indians. Anybody with any common sense will catch on to this. And if you don't, I don't know what to tell you, man. You like they say, man, how they, you know, with the horse that broke his leg, you gotta take him out the barn and put one in behind his ear. That's just like, what else can you say? Now look, now they saying that the government, they brought charges up on the government for slave catching. What the fuck is they still doing to us now? Locking you up, making you pay tithes, making you pay fees. Why the fuck you think they still do that to us today? Because we are the fucking Indian. Only thing they doing is repeating what they've been doing the whole time they been. And your dumbass don't fucking understand it. Oh, why do they hate black? They don't hate Africans the same. You are the motherfucking only Americans here that's going to put up any argument over anything that's going on. That's the reason why it's almost, you figure like this, and real quick, it's almost like 70 million of us, right? Why the fuck you think they, even we know the electoral college, the people who own stock in the United States pick the president. Why the fuck you think they won't even give you no real, truly black candidate? Last black candidate you had was motherfucking Herman Cain, and they shot his ass down immediately, and we just fell right for it. We voted Obama in and said, hold up, Herman Cain is a motherfucking Indian. Obama's a motherfucking fraud. But we admit because Obama was cool. And this is what's wrong with you retarded ass motherfucking Negroes. What would be the population? I mean, what is the percentage or what is the chance of them picking an immigrant black over indigenous black? What's the probability of that happening?
Right.
Oh, they put them there on purpose. They put them there on purpose. What's the probability? Listen, it's more black Americans than it is on any of these Caribbean countries. Any of them. It's more black Americans. We out Jamaicans probably about 10-1. We outnumber, no, probably more than that. We outnumber Haitians fucking probably like 30-1. We outnumber any of these motherfuckers in any of the islands, probably about 70% more of us than it is them. So how do we keep on getting the possibility that we keep getting a motherfucker like Barack Obama, who's a half Jew and his father was a Kenyan? Then we get this bitch, Camellia Harris, who faking moves, dancing to Cardi B, talking about she's Jamaican and her father was half white and half black. Like, so what is the probability that we can't get not one black candidate, whether he lose or win or she win or he lose or whatever? Why can't we get one? Because the majority of us, yeah, you got some coon sellouts, but the majority of us looking like, yo, I can't coon my way all the way to the White House. It's impossible.
Right.
I can't be that much of a sellout. Like, it's impossible. Cynthia McKinney, that was the only motherfucker. And she running again. We trying to get her to run again. But Cynthia McKinney, who was I think she was the senator of Georgia or whatever. Cynthia McKinney is a warrior. She hardcore. And look, so she was probably the last one who really fought or said anything. That's why they always giving her problems or whatever, though. But like I said, yo, look, man, yo, the gig is up. I present this in front of a college classroom. I present this in front of a forum. I present this in front of anybody, in front of Pan-Africans, African. If I present this shit that I got in front of them, they gonna come out like, yo, man, y'all motherfuckers is lying. Because it's too much evidence. It's too now that the slaves that we thought were slaves, not even slaves, they Indians. That was the last bit of hope that you was African, bro. That was the last bit of hope. The pictures show you here. The archaeologists show you here. Your grandmother told you was here. The only thing telling you that you not here is the fact that you think you a motherfucking slave and you don't understand. In Charleston, they get told you, what do we know about? Oh, Charleston, North Carolina, Juneteenth. Oh, Charleston was a major slave port for who? For who? They didn't have to bring no fucking Africans here. They was enslaving us here. They didn't have to bring them here. Why? They don't need them.
Right.
They don't even need them. That's just gonna be all they doing is burning their resource out by going over there, bringing people all the way over here on this dangerous trip, as opposed to you already fucking warring with us anyway. They get told you that they was capturing women and fucking children. Let me keep on going, y'all. All right, so, and we're gonna conclude it, and we're gonna continue. I'm gonna stop this at 1 o'clock, and I'm gonna make another part of this because I got like 3 other articles pulled up. Then I'm gonna continue this. All right, so let's continue. All right, all right, I'm sorry, my bad. Let me get all right. So commissions set up. It say assault, kill, destroy, and take captive Cherokee citizen. That's why the majority of us are Cherokee, bro. That's why the majority of us claim that we are Cherokee, yo. To be sold into slavery for his and their profits. The Cherokee slave trade has become so serious that it eclipsed the trade for fur and skins and became the primary source of commerce. I thought African slaves was the primary source of commerce.
Right. That's right. That's what was told. Hey, come on, man. I don't know, man. Hey.
Look, man, listen, look. Take your helmets off and listen, okay? The Cherokee slave trade has become so serious that it eclipsed the trade for fur, skins, and became the primary source of commerce between the English and the people of Southern Carolina. Can I drop the mic now?
I mean, boom. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we already showed you that the French was dealing with the Africans. So what the? Come on, man. Look.
Yeah. Okay. And then no. Okay, so it says that the slave trade in the Carolina eclipsed the fur trade and the skins. Right now, so motherfucking black. Oh, they mixed them with Africans. Oh, they mixed them. So if they outnumbered them, they have a census right here to show you the people that they counted, and it's no fucking Indians because the Indians are classified as black. fucking Garfield and Rob Bourne and these motherfuckers, man. Like, come on, man. What part don't you understand? Okay? And so let me continue. In the early 1760s, the Cherokee Nation allied with the French. Because really the French is who gave the Cherokee the Cherokee, because they could not pronounce Tuscarora. So the word Cherokee came exactly from the French, okay? Because they was pronounced as Tuscarora, and the French pronounced them as Cherokee. They say the British, and the French and Indian War. Now remember, the French and Indian War is still dealing with the Revolutionary War and the Treaty of Paris and all that stuff I read prior to this, okay? So they did so because, understand this, the Revolutionary War was so fucking big, it established the United States. That's why it was so big. And prior to that, the United States was established, so whatever so-called colonies existed was part and parcel to the United States of America. Okay? It says it's saying they did so in exchange for protection from their traditional enemies, the Iroquois and the Muskoke. It say as well as newfound enemies, the British colony, North Carolina, and its provision for raising troops against the Cherokee offered to anyone who took capture an enemy Indian. It say the right to hold them as slaves. The conflict lasted for 2 years until the Army of Carolina Rangers, British light infantry, and the Royal Scots set out against the Cherokee. In applying and scorching earth policy against the Cherokee, they decimated the people, burning crops in town, and they moved west. No, they did not move west. They just became reliant on to what you established there. That's what happened. Okay, remember Thomas Jefferson? Oh, you can stay in the South because listen to this, right? This is how you can easily figure this shit out, right? You got right here. Now look at the population of people right here. 1790. The Trollatiers ain't until 1840. Look at the population of people from the 1790s until 1840. You don't see them put a dent in that population. So where the fuck did all these people come from when you claim in old time you was a slave Indian? These people right here was Indians, and then once they was given jurisdiction, they get stayed, and then they took on the titles of Negro, Black, and Colored. Drop the motherfucking mic. That's it. And like I said, man, like I challenge anybody on this shit. You can have 20 degrees, and I'm going to challenge you, but let's keep it moving. Check this out. I'm going to read a little bit more, and I'm going to end it. I'm going to read a little bit more, and I'm going to end it. All right? Check this shit out. All right, so it say by decimating the town, say the Cherokee finally agreed to peace pact, which ceded largest population of their hereditary land. It's to the English. So they gave up. This is what formed the Trollatier. It say and established a line of separation between white and Cherokee. Now, when have you heard that? When have you white and what? They missing the word black. Not white and Cherokee, white and black. Okay? Now let's keep it moving. Building a new world with the arrival of the 20th. Now listen to this shit. Now listen how they're going to try to go back and cover everything. Now listen to this. Listen to this right here. Look, they say with the arrival of the 20 indigenous Africans, where we know they wasn't African, bearing Spanish surnames.
Come on, man. Hold up. Hold on, man. Bearing Spanish surnames?
Bro, you can't make this shit up, man. You can't. They all they doing. See, listen, to a person who go with the regular narrative of this so-called African state, they not gonna question none of this shit. They just gonna read like, look, we was fuck out of here. look, they just gonna go along and get along. But check this out. But listen, but check this out. We're gonna catch them in a lie, though. We're gonna catch them. We're gonna read through this and catch them through a lie. It's a bearing Spanish surnames aboard a Dutchman of war in Virginia in 1619. The face of American slavery began to change from tawny Indians to black or more African. Now check this out. They lying to you again. They was calling Indians black or more in Virginia, you lying motherfucker. Do we need to pull this shit up? Let me see something real quick. Don't fucking play with me, man. I ain't the motherfucking one for this shit. I'm not the one for the bullshit. Let me see something real quick. I'm not the one for the fucking bullshit, y'all. I really don't know where y'all niggas came from or the motherfuckers who be trying to challenge the indigenous one, but you want to learn a lesson fucking with me. You're going to learn a motherfucking lesson fucking with me. You're going to learn today. You're going to learn today. Okay? Let's wait for this to open on up. Whenever it decides to, fucking computer got a mind of his own. But you motherfuckers going to learn today. You're going to learn today. Okay? Don't fuck with me. Stop mentioning my name. Stop throwing jabs at the guard or whatever. I'm not here for no fucking. It's not a motherfucking big nuts competition. This is about to teach your people and liberate them. I don't give a fuck about none of these other aborigines out here with this fake ass information who have a problem with me. I'm here for the fucking people, and the people come first, and that's it. Now look, they calling these people Moors. These are obviously Americans. Now check this out. Look. Oh, you know what? Hold up. I gotta drop it back down. I don't know why the fuck this shit could be fucking computer, slow ass fucking computer, man. I gotta take it out of that. All right, here we go. Read that one. Hold up. This one right here. It say the Rokende Moor. Okay? Now, more Moors with Indian hair on. The same shit, more. The same shit we find in so-called, the same shit we find over here in America that we've been talking about is the same shit you see these motherfuckers with. Look. And I got other pictures too. Let me see something. Still got that prefix, M-O-R. People challenge me like a motherfucker. Look. Moors. Look, these are Indians smoking. Where do they find tobacco? Oh shit, they found tobacco in Virginia. Oh, why do they got Indians on the Virginia? Oh, cause these are motherfucking Virginia Indians. Stupid. More Moors. See this for Kende Moore. That ain't no more. Look, another Moor. So don't give me. Stop using these words synonymous. You ain't gonna get the conscience want this stupid shit. So black or more African. It's like through this issue, and though the issue is complex and unsuitability, it say of the Native Americans. It say for the labor-intensive agriculture practices. Okay. The Native Americans for the labor-intensive agriculture practices. It says their susceptibility to European diseases, the proximity of avenues of escape for American Indian, for Native Americans, and the lucrative nature of the African slave trade led to a transition of African-based institution of slavery, in spite of a later tendency in the southern United States to differentiate. Listen, it say, listen to this. Now, this is where we catching these people at. In spite of later tendencies in southern United States to differentiate the African slaves from the Indian, the institution of African slavery was actuality imposed on the top of pre-existing system of Indian slavery. So when if you claim that this shit started in 1619, how was this shit put on a pre-existing? how was this put on a pre-existing system of Indian slavery when you telling us the first slaves that came here started the slave trade was in 1619? Now let me continue. All right, so in North America, the two never derive. It say as distinction institution. It say never derive. I mean derive. I'm sorry. Derive as distinctive institutions during the transitional period from 1615 to 1750. African and Native Americans share a common experience of enslavement. It say in addition to working together in field, they often live together in community living quarters. The told stories of their homeland and their traditions were brought meaning to life. They revealed to each other the food, the field, the forest, and provided substantial. Mute your mic, mute your mic, mute your mic. Mute your mic, AP. It say, and the herbs and the remedies that brought healing. The sharing of lives often led to marriage, and intermarrying of African and Native Americans was facilitated by the disproportionate number of African male slaves. Now, we already know they're not African. Hold up, y'all. My bad. Hold up.
That's not me. A1. I might be me.
Nah. You know what? I know what it is. I see what it is. My bad, y'all. Hold up. My bad, y'all. My bad, y'all. This fucking thing just be starting up. Like I muted it on the YouTube page. This shit just start up when it wants to.
Yeah, it's that probably the just them tabs, some of them tabs.
Right. But oh man, like I said, man, this shit, the biggest thing. Don't let nobody. We wasn't slaves. Well, your family wasn't slaves, and we need to start figuring out what part did your family play? Because we know at this point in time, all that tough guy talk. Oh man, we wasn't slaves. Tough guy talk. Oh man, my family wasn't slaves, so we was able to beat fucking savages. And I'm not trying to stop nobody from having their thoughts about what they. But after reading this material, it's self-explanatory. It's self-explanatory. The only way you was not a slave if you were siding with these fucking people. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. You could have had a bomb and it still was going to your ass. They just told you that the number of Africans, which we know that these ain't number male, but original indigenous people who were shipped to the West Indies and brought back as Negroes. Okay, we know that. That's it. 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 Let me see something else, man. Now hold on. Let me. I'm gonna read through some. I'm gonna read through a little bit more, and then I'm about to end it. All right. So let me read through this, and we about to end it. Into historical patterns of warfare among Native Americans, therefore Indian slaves in the early Southeast. Where are we from? The Southeast. Were disproportionately women. There was as many as 3 to 5 times more Native women than men enslaved. Slave owners often desire African men to work on the field and pair the Native American women to help around the house. Okay, now look, we know that them women who was in the motherfucking house, you still thought they was African. So stop the fucking lies, man. Look, John Norris, a South Carolina planter, estimated the cost of setting up a plantation. Okay, 15 good Negro men at 45 pounds each. All right, and the 45 pounds each. These is kids. Okay, ain't no fucking man weigh no fucking 45 pounds. 15 Indian women to work on the field at 18 pounds. These are kids, man. These is kids. These ain't no motherfucking adults. Say 3 Indian women as cooks for the slaves and the other household business. Check this out. Now look. Now when they was telling, now if the Indians was in the house, right? Listen to this, right? If the Indians was the one that was in the house with the women, I mean with the men, why do they always show you a black woman as mating with these fucking European men? The European, now like I said, when we talk about George Washington, this shit can play out 2 ways. George Washington could have took on a black wife or a black or Aborigine and left her his property. But people saying that George Washington's wife was the ones with the slaves and he married into her having slaves. So, still, y'all, this shit is killing me, man. It's fucking congested. All right, so let me get finished. All right, so they say Wright suggests that the presence of so many women slaves from the Southeast Indian nations was the matriarch line kinship was the norm to exceed the prominent role of women in the slave culture. As Native American society in the Southeast was primarily the matriarch, African males who married Indian women often became members of the wife clan and citizens of the respective nation. And it say as relations grew, the line of racial distinction, because listen, remember this, y'all. Where did they tell you they took the men at? They said that they took the men and sent them to the Caribbean. So what in the men that was in the Caribbean that you brought back will be the motherfuckers that you sent from here? And then you claiming you showing us that you sending people there. So how do we know these people that you bringing from the, because most of them slave laws gonna say the Caribbean. And you're gonna get nothing saying nobody was an African, and you're gonna get nothing saying nobody was a Negro, yo. All right? You know what? I'm gonna end this shit right because my nose is really fucking with me, y'all. Yeah, my nose is really fucking with me. I'm gonna read some more of this though. I'm gonna keep this right here where it's at. I had a bunch of other shit that I was gonna read. I'm gonna come back and continue this another time.
Word, man. Go ahead and get right, man. You got time. You know what I'm saying? You gave him a lot. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and get yourself right, bro.
No doubt. Peace to everybody in the chat room. Peace to everybody, all the Aborigine, North, South, Central America. Like I said, if you like to donate, send your donations to my PayPal account as well as my Pay app. I mean, my Cash app. If you like to cop yourself some Aborigine clothing, go to my T-shirt Springer. And understand this too, right? My T-shirts that I've been making, and I no shot to nobody else who make anything, because this shit is just to get the information out so we all know or whatever though. But understand this, I got my own spin on the logos and the way I put the shit on my shirt. So I shouldn't see nobody else shirts looking nothing similar to mine, because I don't go on nobody else's channel and bite off nobody's shit. I shouldn't see nobody's shit looking nothing like mine. I shouldn't see no Negro or copper. I shouldn't see none of that shit on nobody else's shirt. So like I said, I don't own this shit, and I ain't trying to be cocky. I don't own no copyrights to no Aborigine. I don't own no copyrights to Attentionist. None of this shit. So I don't never take leadership on none of this or try to take ownership, because I don't own none of this stuff. All right? But at the end of the day, let's be for this shit, y'all. All right? Like I said, you like to donate, you know where to go. You like to cop yourself a T-shirt or cop yourself something to represent yourself, please do that. Culture Freedom, Hidden Cultures of America is going to come out whether people want to invest or into it, because this is ultimately to teach your people. Okay, I mean, like, yeah, I can make some type of monetary gain off of this, but at the end of the day, this shit is for the people. It's not. Excuse me. I'm not triggered to do this because of monetary gains. I want to do this so my people are recognized. By the time we trying to get to 2020, we trying to get a redress of grievances. What would be better for us to recognize that we are the people who was here? Because even right there gets showed you that it was already black people here. So we already know that. So these Africans that they claim they brought here were really people who was already sent to the West Indies and brought back. If they had brought a few Africans to the West Indies and mixed them in with the so-called Indians that were sent there, that could be a possibility. But the overall tell me that there is no Africans on this continent, Tariq Nasheed. There's no Africans on this continent, Yvette Carnell. There's no Africans on this continent. There is no whole African. None of us are Africans, first of all. We are Indians. 100% of us are Indians. 100%. So take that. Have a good day, y'all. And I'm out of here. Peace.